I am so tired. I need a nap. Hi, Bagel. Hi, Nix. Time to ignore work. So real. I am adding a new thing that you can redeem. I just have to add it to the channel points thing. Can I add a new one, please? There we go. Add custom reward. How much should it be? Let's do 600. Okay, don't do it yet because it won't work. Twitch trigger, Twitch channel point redemption. There we go. Redemption name. There we go. Save. Save. Let me test it. Where's the stinking thing? Channel points. Yes.
It was on a murky night of November that I beheld my fish completed.
Waffle House is scaring me.
Waffle House is scaring you? Waffle House is kind of scaring me too, not gonna lie. Why is it like turning into some SCP thing? Okay, where's the thing I just added? Here we go. Okay, good. It is going to work. It just won't yet on this screen. I've missed you all. I'm a little sick today. The cough is normal. The stomach problems are not. But thank you, Grim, for the 12 months. I just realized I didn't say thank you. Let's head over. Try out the new channel point thing. See if that works. If anyone is reading this, please help me. Okay. Thanks for the 10 months. Oh, why did the Vine Boom thing work? I just realized I can't hear it. Hold on. Monitoring output. Oh, we got a hype train. Well, I'm not in character in streams, so... No. Anyway, we have the job application jump scare thing now, because I thought that'd be funny. I might be a little bit late to the party, because I was so lazy. I think it's kind of funny. The 22nd was the last day. Let's do lore sheets first. And then we will move on to everything else. Maybe I should add a cooldown to it. I feel like it's gonna... I don't know. That's gonna be going off the entire time, isn't it? Okay, wait, no, I do want this. There we go. I don't know, it was bothering me that there was some space at the bottom. Hey, Strawberry. Let's go up to the 22nd, which is here, but there was an updated one, so we're gonna read that first. I hope you're all doing well and having fun on the SMP. I apologize. I'm like really brain foggy. I slept in. I wake up at 8:30 every day. 8:30 in the morning. I slept in until 1 p.m. today. Because that's how, like, awful I feel. It's like giving elementary schoolers a recorder. These job applications are really triggering. Sorry. I'll remove it next time.
You know?
Thank you, CJ. I know when to sleep. I know that, like, you gotta sleep when you gotta sleep. I don't have to wake up that early. I just do because I try to. I get up and I have like when I'm not feeling awful, I will do like an hour of chores trying to keep the house together. Some days I do like meal prep and stuff. But anyway, I'm feeling kind of rough today, so it's a rest day. Sivarius, thank you for following. Go to bed? No. Anyway, let's go. We gotta get through this. Carmine. Carmine was a child that lived in the ancient city. He loved exploring the nearby caves. When the anomaly happened, he was alone in the caves. When he returned, everyone had vanished. For years, he wandered the empty streets of his lost city until he heard about Solace. He ventures there in hopes to make new friends and rebuild his lost city. So is this like an ancient city planet? That'd be kind of cool. We have, hold on, switch this. There we go. August. Nickname Augie. Hobbies, farming, gardening, picking flowers, studying flora and fauna. Awesome. An elf. Ooh. I love the mix of like fantasy and sci-fi that we have. Because Solace, like how everything was like made and everything and all of the that kind of stuff. It's like very sci-fi. You know, you have this being that's made out of like energy and like, you know, all the communication that Freya tried to make with Arcturus and everything using like gravity field nonsense, whatever. It's very sci-fi. I grew up a very sci-fi kid. But then a lot of the people who like come to Solace are very fantasy themed. It's a cool mix. I like it. Oh, you'll be eating tonight with Quasar's lore? Yes! Can't wait. Links to sheet. In the core components, image in order is file 047, the collector, chaos, the jester, and the liar. More will be posted later since I can only post finite amount of images and I have to wait a while before I can post his emotions. Oh yeah, you can post those in Lore Tuesday. We'll still see them. Like if you, I know that it's too late now because I think you did post these later. Whoa, Kath, thanks for the gift sub. Miniman got it. Oh yeah, I think this stream is the first one where everyone's... Remember when Saint gifted like 100 gift subs or whatever? This is the first one where everyone's expired. So, 07 to those who have to watch ads now. I turned off my ads, I'm pretty sure, but then I realized that like, then I just lose control and like over how many ads go every time. So, because I set them to the minimum. Because like, even if I run ads, unless I run them at like a ridiculous amount, I don't get any money. I get like $2 a month from ads. So I tried turning them off, but then like they ran more because then Twitch gets to decide, not the streamer. Anyway. Yeah. But I appreciate everyone who subscribes. I wish that I could just make it so you don't get any ads at all, because that would be great. Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold, buy. Bill Cipher. Bald Cipher. Links. After completing a project he made to detach himself from Sam, he found himself in a rim world where he hijacked an offline security android standing idle in a production factory. Running out of the factory to not get caught, shortly after he would break into a clothing store grabbing whatever he could find before running out. After a few months in seclusion, he would catch a familiar signal from a distant planet. It was Solace. seeing that what he calls the 6th season has started. He would get to work instantly working on a portal to bring him back to Solace, which brings us to today. After spending months working on a portal, he would be done. He would start the portal after some charging. It didn't work. It didn't work? That's not right. It should have worked. Why didn't it work? Just then he would get a message that an unknown signal or force was doing something to his portal. At first he was annoyed before seeing the portal opened after the force was done. So they're just messing with it for fun? He would decide to continue as he steps through the portal, excited to see some old and new faces and new ideas he wants to finish. Nice. Before we continue, I'd like to answer a question that hasn't exactly been explained well. The rim planet Sam and Lynx are from is practically an exact replica of Earth, only that it takes place in the early 2000s. Same events, same events?! 9/11! Same population, same people? How does that work? 1822. Oh no. And that's all I think you can move onto the images of some of the expressions that can be displayed. Interesting. Now these are the emotions. Laughing, fear and shock, same as last, plus sad. Playing sound or audio, creepy face, frustration, glitch 1, glitch 2, glitch crash, crazed, and anger. My mom opened my door when you said that. Hi, Cheese's mom. Bring your mom back. Come here. Tell her to come here. Hi, Cheese's mom. Hi. There. We just did the jump scare thing again. Does this mean the universe had 2 9/11s? I guess so. That's awful. We have Casimir, and this was posted before, but the lore part was not posted. So we're gonna read about Casimir. Can I make this appear better? No, that's worse. That's fine. We will do this. 4 towers. They hit the 4th tower. Can I connect links to a DVR player and watch Captain America Winter Soldier? Alright. All about Casimir. After a long expedition through space, Casimir returned home to find his people had all disappeared without a trace. Desperate for answers, he prayed to the gods for guidance, but his pleas went unanswered. He continued to search the cosmos, looking for his people, but instead he only found more holes left behind by the Great Anomaly. This event caused Casimir to lose all faith in the gods, he once dedicated his life to, and instead he focused himself on gathering answers. However, Casimir is not the brightest, nor was he ever. Despite being around 500 years old, he only had 3 tails, something his peers on Hinoki looked down on him for. His mannerisms and obsessions were seen as strange by his family, and as his parents and older siblings became priests and warlocks, Casimir struggled with both wits and his magic. His frequent travels off-planet were partially to use his subpar magical abilities to impress lower life forms. That's kind of funny. Casimir arrived on Solace during Season 5. Once he learned all of the chaos that occurred in the safe haven, his image of Freya was soured. He demanded answers from the residents of Solace, only to discover they were all victims of the Great Anomaly. He began his studies, meticulously researching past events surrounding Solace and its enemies. His obsession caused people to avoid him, and eventually he found himself with no friends or allies. The only faction he fit into was the Strawberry Patch, a faction of misfits and introverts. His only companion, Vilawil, was similarly obsessed with researching Solace and its creatures, but after Casimir returned from another off-planet expedition, she seems to have changed. Despite being his dearest friend, she doesn't seem to remember him at all. Uh-oh. Hinoki, Casimir's home. Casimir's people, Hinokians, are very similar to Kitsune from Japanese folklore. Their home planet, Hinoki, is shrouded in fire, from which its people are born. Time travels slightly quicker on Hinoki compared to Solace, and Hinokians have much longer lifespans than most species. They are born with one tail, and more can be gained with age and wisdom. After gaining 9 tails, they ascend to a higher form. These elders are known as the Tenko and are the leaders of society. The people of Hinoki are polytheistic, believing in many different gods. When he was younger, Casimir was quite fascinated by deities and would worship each and every one he learned about during his travels. His faith in the gods was broken after the Great Anomaly occurred, wiping out his entire race. Very cool. There's only companion one about me. That's kind of funny. Oh my gosh! We have strawberry! Wait, I gotta go backwards. Or I don't want to go backwards. Strawberry. Depends on the weather. Height depends on the weather. That's kind of funny. We have all of the different versions. Hold on. There we go. We got Boots' tail. Season 1, she lives past the mug, has a cat cave. Cat cave? Lots of chickens. We have season 3 with the egg in pocket from Pickle. The armor. That's cool. I love all the little details. I need more strawberry lore. Oh my god. It genuinely made me kind of die inside. Start stealing hair. The stealing hair thing is always what's so funny to me. We have so these two are very similar, but puppy ears, feathers, the little bird, the goat legs.
What's your name?
My name is Yuvan Marasimi.
How old are you?
I'm 4 years old.
You are the youngest person ever.
Alright, let's go to Lord Tuesday. We got a lot to cover today.
What's your name?
My name is Yuvan Marasimi.
How old are you?
I'm 4 years old.
You are the
The
youngest,
person
ever.
We already saw this. We already saw this. We already saw
your
this.
name?
Oh my gosh!
My name is
Why are we all
Yuvan.
redeeming the 4
How
years
old are
old?
you?
I'm 4
4 years old!
You are the
You're the youngest person
ever.
Alright, I think...
Your name?
My name is Yuvan Marasimi.
How old are you?
How long is this gonna go
4 years
on?
old.
For
you are
4
the
years?
youngest person ever.
Strawberries! Stop it! Okay. A crimson reaction. Oh, I forgot to turn on my captions. My bad, gang! Hold on. Turn on the Save Your Eyes filter. Solace turned beneath a low sun, its skies coated with dust and distant storms. Life moved across its face in countless forms. Cities carved out of rock, woodlands that breathed with slow consciousness, creatures that trilled strange melodies of living and decay. This is poetry. But underlying all this noise and color, invisible and intangible, moved something older than remembrance. Quasar! Quasar lore! A smooth, gelatinous... I knew the poetry! I knew it! I didn't look at the username, but I knew when reading this. Mwah. A smooth, gelatinous form of crimson substance, liquid and iridescent as though the very center of molten light had been captured and set free. It folded, reconstituted, and flowed constantly, never staying, never still. At its center, one titanic eye, unblinking, warm, with a soft light like a distant star consumed by darkness. It didn't begin here, no anchor to any species, no part of any mind. Quasar was a witness, a silent mind without voice or presence, drifting through Solace's depths with uncomplaining equanimity. That's a word. Time did not exist for it. Centuries flowed like instants, and instants dissipated into elastic tunnels of experience. Quasar pushed forward with the slow inevitability of tectonic plates shifting, the steady pulse of magnetic fields that cradled the planet. It saw civilizations rise and fall without even being seen or disturbed. They were a breath in the ocean of existence, short-lived, fragile, and beautifully fleeting. And it found uranium, not by want or emergency, but by stealthy discovery. Deep beneath a barren plateau of broken stone and fallen ash, it sensed the subtle signature, the gradual, unhurried breakdowns of atoms splitting, releasing hidden fire. The uranium breathed a rhythm unique to Solace, a tamed chaos, a harmony of destruction and creation. For cycles past the counting, Quasar waited. It wrapped itself around the metal veins, tasting their heat and light. It thrust tentacles of its fluid form into the rock, relishing, oh my god, why can't I read that? Relishing the radiation in an extraterrestrial mode that was not touch or smell. It tallied the decay, the pulses of energy seeping into the earth, the unheard waves that skipped like specter light through the crust of the planet. No hurry. No need to know immediately, but only to become known. The Uranians sang a quiet hymn and Quasar listened. It explored slowly, at first, folding small pockets of matter, probing reactions, feeling the boundaries of bounded energy. Its eye flashed with each discovery, not in joy, but in the quiet satisfaction of a puzzle unfolding, a pattern resolving. Centuries more passed. Quasar's form changed, more complex, more precise to the subtle laws it was unraveling. No longer So wait, centuries passed? But Solace is only 6 years old. Anyway. No longer aimless, it now followed the contours of the decay like a mathematician adhering to the perfect
Your
curve.
name?
Oh, centuries
My
passed
name
for
is
seconds.
Yuval
Ah!
Morosini.
How old are you?
I'm 4 years old.
All
You
the
were
lore
the
from
youngest
Quasar you'll read
person
there connected.
ever.
Oh, okay. Then finally came the urge, a single aware intent. It started to build up, not with hands or tools or words, but with the quiet authority of presence itself. The earth bowed between its weight as it crushed rock, curled gravity into coils, and spun magnetic fields into filigree. Its jelly-like form merged easily with the increasing structure, becoming both builder and essential core. The planet wasn't a building. It was an extension of Quasar, a living machine that had grown from thought and energy, a symphony of matter and will. Inside, the uranium core pulsed with held power. Fission began not in explosion nor fire, but in a soft, controlled unburdening of energy, heat creeping in measured waves, light blinking softly unseen. Quasar's eyes stayed locked, unwinking upon the core, echoing the soft dance it had orchestrated. This was not conquest, no gift to others. It was creation for its own sake, a closed circle of understanding and becoming. No one went out of their way to look. No whispers hummed in wonder. No celebrations announced the arrival of this quiet flame, and Quasar was contented. Alone beneath Solace's weary skies, it was wrapped around the pulse of the reactor, a being contented not by mastery or belonging, but by quiet domination of change. To be, to build, to know itself in the language of light and decay. Beneath the surface, a red fire core hid, watching always, changing always. Absolute cinema. Let's see. Journal of the Celestian Sun. Day 1 of the reversal. It begun with the boom of a ticking clock within the homes of millions from the planet of Celestion. All was ready to feel peace and rest through the night. The sudden quake of our homes began, and our clocks ticked backwards, and the rumbled sounds of screams and yells echoed through the night. One by one, families, friends, and strangers alike have disappeared as the great star rises once more. What came after was no more than pure chaos, confusion, fear, and silence. As the homes we once knew we had was no longer a home we can remain. Say Celesta Kandorian. May the frozen lady find it in her mercy to guide us to the plains of winter embrace. The reversal. Is this what the Great Anomaly was? I love hearing, by the way, what people call, have their characters' culture call the Great Anomaly. I think Miraju called it the Flash. There was another, like, Glacier's character or something, like, something happened, I don't know, there was a name of it. I think Angels, the Alien Twins it was something else that was called. But I love when people come up with other names. Because obviously, like, the Great Anomaly is just a Solace, like, Solace's way of naming it. I'm sure other places call it just, like, other crazy stuff. Alien Twins mentioned, yeah. That was our culture name of the anomaly. Yeah, I love that. The reversal. They finally fed me. Why is that? What is that? Chia seeds? Raw egg? I don't know. Is this a YouTube video? My gosh, it's a YouTube video. Hold on.
Ah, there you are, upright.
Wait, hold on. Damn it, hold on. This isn't showing everything. Hold on. I want to make sure you guys see the entire video. There we go. Okay, well, that's good enough.
Blinking and only slightly twitching. That's a win in our books. Welcome to HQ. Yes, the HQ. Deep beneath the mist-choked hills of Nullvale, inside a geologically stable enough cavern system nestled somewhere between slightly radioactive and possibly in a black hole. Charming, isn't it? Things you may be feeling right now. Disorientation, temporal doubling, the faint taste of shrimp, a sudden and inexplicable emotional attachment to the mop in the corner. All completely normal. You are now standing, well, technically standing, on hollow ground. This facility is home to the Blue mainframe, and look at you! You've just been granted conditional, revocable, and highly limited access to your outer subsystems. You probably have questions. That's fine. Common ones include, what does Bloom stand for? Why are the walls humming? Why can't I remember how I got here? Was that a face in the vent? We encourage curiosity within approved boundaries. You'll find a laminated FAQ in your onboarding packet. Warning, may burst into flames if removed from Zone 3. Now, a few safety notes. The facility operates on a color-coded truss system. You are currently gray level, which means you can breathe the air and look at the walls. Progress! Promotion to yellow level requires a pulse, stable vitals, and at least one favorable psychic profile. Anything beyond that? Well, we'll cross that weirdly shaped belt when we come to it. Let's talk about your role. Your role, probably. You are now a valued and legally distinct member of the Live Systems Engagement Initiative, which is definitely a real thing and not a phrase we made up just now. Observe, fix, and never interfere. Unless you're specifically told to interfere, in which case, do so calmly.
The shrimp showing up all the time is killing me.
You may be assigned to sample preservation, includes screaming things in jars, pattern interpretation, ever tried decoding dreams fed through a microwave, or interpersonal integration facilitation, aka talking to the walls until they talk back, trying not to scream when the walls change texture mid-shift. Do not worry, we have training materials. They're printed on disappearing ink and narrated by a sentient sock named Glenn. You'll be working with a team of seasoned professionals, and by seasoned, we mean lightly salted and stored at room temperature for legal reasons. Safety tip. If you ever feel like time is looping, reversing, or folding into a delicious Danish dish, log it. That's valuable data. Also, maybe hydrate. So, take a breath, if permitted, stretch your limbs, if applicable, and prepare to begin your shift. And remember, no one ends up at HQ by accident. Your arrival was observed, mapped, and pre-approved long before you ever stepped through the door. So smile for the ceiling. Try not to think too hard about the coffee machine's blinking eyes. And most importantly, welcome to HQ. We're glad you're here.
That was amazing. That was amazing. The animation, not the job application. That was really good. I loved the animation. Obviously a lot of work. The voice acting, really good. This felt like an intro to like a video game or like a show or something that's like very quirky and, like, quirky in a good way, not like the, I'm so quirky kind of thing. But, like, almost like I haven't watched past the first episode of, what's it called? The Digital Circus, but that gives me that kind of vibe. I like a jackpot tutorial? I don't know what that is. It reminds me of Jackbox, like the games. Anyway. Really fantastic. Felt like an SCP Foundation intro. Yeah. Anyway, really, really fantastic job. That's fire. That's the kind of voice that will laugh as you're suffering and shrug it off once they save you for their own entertainment. Yeah, Jackbox. Really good. We got more Quasar. Let's go. The save your ice filter is back on. I gotta put that on a automatic thing. Quasar's trifle. Solace's sun spilled its warm golden light over the endless crimson plains, igniting the dust in a fiery veil. Oh, I gotta turn the music back on. The scent of wild grasses and burnt earth hung heavy in the air, the low hum of life growing beneath the sky. In the distance, the obsidian cliffs stood as dark, silent sentinels, ancient and ominous. Set against the cliffs was the Crimson Basin, a vast hollow carved out of time and stone. At its center was Quasar, a massive gelatinous sphere, its red tentacles gently pulsing, forever flowing in a hypnotic rhythm. Deep in its center, one large eye slowly blinked, filled with the wisdom of centuries. The people of Harbor's Reach lived nearby, and their lives were complicated and connected with the ground. They revered Quasar as their guardian, not a god, but an energy that kept the frail balance of their world in check. Their myths spoke of Quasar as a mystical creature born from Solace's own heart, an old guardian watching over all of them. Iran? Iran? A youth with wide eyes and an unquenchable hunger for knowledge visited the basin often. He did not, as did the others, dread the powerful orb. Instead, he wished to know it, to unravel the silent enigmas held in its glowing eye. Iran traced the runes etched into the stone of the basin with his fingers, saying softly, "Quasar, what lies beyond your knowing? What do you see?" The sphere pulsed gently, a strand extending far enough to brush Iran's hand, a silent acknowledgement. That evening, as dusk gave way to dark, Iran sat beneath the empty sky and waited. Upon the wind were gentle mutterings, as if the world itself was trying to speak through the whispering grasses. Unbeknownst to him, a shadow stirred far beyond the horizons. A breach was near. The next morning dawned bright and clear, the sun rising steadily in a cloudless sky. Iran awoke with a troubled restlessness stirring in him. Something was amiss. As he approached the Crimson Basin, the ground trembled faintly beneath his feet. The light of the great sphere pulsed, tendrils twitching spasmodically. Suddenly, a sharp tearing sound screamed through the air, like stone being rent asunder by an invisible blade. Iran's head snapped up, his heart pounding. Love the sci-fi fantasy ghost stuff TV people lore. Oh yeah, like I was saying earlier, I love the mix of fantasy and sci-fi that we have with the SMP. It's so good. A jagged rip had torn across the sky, ripping a massive gash through the heavens. It shimmered with unnatural green and purple hues, pulsing like a heartbeat. The light of the sun warped through the rip, casting the red plains in eerie, shattered shadows. Unnatural energies poured from the rip's jagged edges, thick and crushing. The air cooled and condensed, and then the shadows descended. Formless and dark, the shadow creatures poured from the rift like a living nightmare. Twisted, writhing shapes, their eyes burning with malice. They clawed at Harbor's Reach with abandon, ripping through houses, uprooting crops, and sending the villagers fleeing in panic. Iran ran through the streets, crying, "To arms! Defend your homes!" But the creatures would not be halted. Wave upon wave of darkness. Quasar writhed in the Crimson Basin, its eyes splintering into endless shards, burning with pain and rage. Iran's breath caught as he realized the Guardian too suffered. As Harbor's Reach burned, Euron fled to the village archives, seeking answers with growing desperation. Among decaying scrolls and broken stone tablets, he found a book sealed with elder symbols. With trembling hands, he broke the seal. The pages revealed a forgotten past, a time when an old civilization ruled Solace with ambitious brutality. They had tried to harness the energy of the planet's core. Really? Damn. Fran needs to take better care of the planet, I guess. Tearing reality asunder. Their experiments... So wait, time when an old civilization, what, 6 years old? Their experiments had released a dark energy from the planet's depths, buried and sealed away until now. The rift was the scars of that ancient war opening anew. Can you get snacks? Go get snacks, Kath. I have a huge urge to bring Angel back, but if I do, I have to do double the lore. No! Angel's death was perfect. I think you need to move on. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be so attached to a character you've developed so much. Because in the campaign I'm playing with my character from the What If server that I have just developed for so long over time, I'm so attached to her. She has to retire! She really wants to retire, but I keep being like, well, she's gonna keep doing things. But I need to move on. I need to let her live a happy life, you know? Anyway. But Mom, I want to know, old civilization that ruled Solace. Who are you referencing? Because Solace is 6 years old. I know Angel doesn't get a happy ending, but he got a satisfying ending. Anyway. The rift was the scars of that ancient war opening anew. Left unchecked, the corruption would annihilate everything. Euron shut the book with a bang, his heart pounding. They were running out of time. Euron rushed back to the Crimson Basin. Quasar was diminished, its red form throbbing like a dying coal. Kai, Euron whispered, the old word for guardian. The massive sphere's eye cracked open, bloodshot and shattered. A tentacle slowly reached out, touching Euron's trembling hand. It was a silent pact, a hopeless desire. Yeah, maybe the first comer is just the evil peeps that were wiped out quickly from their experiments. I guess just, timeline-wise, 6 years is kind of hard to forget about what happened 6 years ago. I thought Solace was young Freya. Do I need to update the lore document? Do I need to drink more caffeine? Yeah, Kath, can you write 300 years of lore now? But yeah, I guess that's my only question is, how did something, happen 6 years ago and no one else, it's not common knowledge. People have to, look through archives to figure out what happened. Anyway. Because Euron, I'm assuming Euron is, a young person, but not, 6 years old. Wasn't born on Solace. Anyway. It was a silent pact, a hopeless desire. Together they would meet the rift. The journey was beautiful. Or brutal. Sorry, not beautiful. The earth around the rift twisted and heaved, seared by corruption. Quasar consumed the rift's toxic energies to slow its progress, each surge draining its strength. Euron struggled to keep pace, his body shrieking in exhaustion. They encountered pockets of resistance along the way, villagers huddled in wreckage, shattered by sorrow but still fighting. Euron proved what little comfort he could, words of hope against despair. Quasar's existence, fading, was a beacon. As they neared the rift, news came that Harbor's Reach was under final siege. The shadow creatures had returned, more brutal than ever. Flames consumed the village, screams rode burning streets. Euron turned back, duty and desperation at war. He rallied survivors, arming them with whatever could be found. Outnumbered but fierce, desperate to preserve the homes and lives they loved, they fought. At the rift's edge, Quasar convulsed violently. Euron grasped the grisly reality. To close the rift permanently, Quasar needed to merge with the source of the corruption, a sacrifice that would destroy its physical form. Looking into the shattered eye, Euron saw something different, a silent plea. The Guardian needed a host. Euron had a choice, let Solace die or become the new Guardian and give up his own humanity to save his world. Damn, this is a big thing that happened I had no idea about. Euron's hands shook as he stepped ahead. Quasar's tentacle brushed his chest. A surge of energy ran through his veins. Pain and memory inundated him. The burden of millennia, the lives of countless souls sacrificed. His body broke apart and reformed, merging with Quasar's essence. The rift shut in a blaze of searing light. Silence fell over Solace. The shadow creatures vanished. The skies cleared, awash in the warm radiance of the blazing sun. Solace was safe. For now. I can just picture, like, Eleanor coming out of her ship in the morning to take a smoke, looks off in the distance, sees, like, just absolute chaos, like, creatures, like, everywhere, fire, smoke going up in the sky, a huge battle, and she's just like, I'm going back to bed. If you think this is big, I would say if you want to do like big things like this, tell me. I'll tell you how you can make it happen that makes more sense. Because like, this can work. It's just difficult to, I guess if like, because I mean technically Solace like expands like over time. People are on opposite sides of the planet. So this isn't all in one spot. This could be on the opposite side of the planet. No one would have any idea. Freya's problem, not mine. Reminds me of that one Thomas Sanders vine where he opens the window and switches between fire and storming. That's funny. The events in Solace remind me of a normal Tuesday in Gotham. Exactly. That's so true. Oh yes, Frostfire lore. We're eating. How many pages? 21 pages! Oh my god. Okay, we're eating. Buckle up, everyone. Okay, this is your time to get water and a snack. I will be right back. I'm actually going to get myself water because otherwise I'm going to lose my voice. Read the description. The description. Chapters 1 and 2 were made last season. Oh, chapter 3 is the new one. Okay. Should I only read the... Should I only read... Okay, I'll only read chapter 3 then. Still, I am going to go get some water. So, this is your time. Okay, we're back. I hope you got a good snack. Who are we banning? Okay, here we go. Just reading chapter 3. Because we're not reading 21 pages, not today. Chapter 3, here we go. It's gone. It's all gone. Everything they worked for, everything they accomplished, gone. Reduced to rubble. Yet, Krufik comes back, always, to pick up the pieces. Miraju and Cypher had destroyed everything she built, everything she had left. Now, she has to call upon a favor. Kneeling beside... I forgot! The Frostfire was destroyed! Oh, that's so sad. Kneeling beside the crater of what was with her head down, Krufik speaks shakily. Marina, she calls out, hoping the woman will show herself to her. I know you're here. As expected, a ring of frost and ice spins up from the ground, and in the middle appears Marina. She doesn't speak, not that she normally does anyway. Instead, Marina just stands there, waiting for Krufik to speak again like she knows she will. Krufik doesn't turn around since there isn't a need to. It's already significantly colder due to Marina's presence. What do I do? Krufik asks, wiping away her tears that escaped from her eyes and flicks them onto the ground. She hesitates, fighting back a sob. I just wanted my home back, she admits, her face buried in her hands. Instead of comforting Krufik, of telling her that everything will be okay, Marina stays silent. She takes in the sight in front of her. Frostfire, or what was Frostfire, now a crater of rubble, and her daughter, crying, practically sobbing after all she has lost. Marina has never been the comforting type. After all, she's the goddess of death and the winter. What is she going to do? Give her a hug? Make her a polar bear? Though the former seems more helpful in this case. You can't always get what you want, Krufik, Marina finally responds, her voice indifferent and cold. Yet, there's a hint of warmth in there somewhere. To her, this is a comforting sentence, or at least that was the intention. Apparently, Krufik doesn't think the same. I know, Krufik sobs. I know. Just let me hope. The sound of Krufik crying is more apparent to Marina now, even as she curses inwardly at herself. She hesitates, looking around for some answer, some hint as to how she can help, but nothing. So she takes a reluctant step towards Krufik, standing awkwardly beside her at the rim of the crater. Hope, Marina speaks, though her accent makes the words sound aggressive. An interesting thing, hope. You know, there's 6 different definitions of the word. Krufik sniffles, wiping her nose with the back of her hand. She glances back at Marina, realizing that she isn't in her normal guise of Susu, her favorite sibling Eurylo had unofficially adopted. It's actually her, black wings and all. What are you even talking about? Krufik asks, clearly not understanding why Marina is giving her seemingly useless information when she's sobbing over losing everything she ever had. Marina holds her gaze, only then realizing how similar she made Krufik look to Eurylo, and yet so different from him. Her eyes almost soften. Almost. You've lost everything, Marina starts, even though her words will probably bring Krufik pain. Yet, you still have hope. She takes a few more steps, now standing at the very edge of the crater. I don't know who you get it from. Krufik scoffs, shifting to sit normally with her legs hanging over the edge. Definitely not from Eurylo, she mutters, still annoyed at him like a child mad at their parents for not letting them go to a party. Or you, she adds. Funny, Marina deadpans. She isn't going to take Krufik's words to heart. She knows they aren't meaningful. But you shouldn't be so mad at your Eurylo. He tried his best, even if it doesn't seem that way. She looks away from the crater and back to Krufik, waiting for her response. Krufik's head shakes as she wipes her eyes. Sure he is. Whatever you say, Marina. Krufik agrees, but it's quite obvious she doesn't. Marina's eyes flicker away from Krufik after she speaks. It always hurts a little when she calls her by her name and not a loving title, so to speak. Not Mom or anything of the sort. She knows she deserves it, but that doesn't mean that the tug at her chest isn't any less painful. The silence is so loud it's almost deafening. Eventually it's broken. I'm sorry, Marina tells her, her voice low and reluctant. like it took a lot out of her to even admit. She isn't looking for forgiveness. Krufik knows that. She just wants her to know that she understands what she did wrong. You're sorry? A scoff leaves Krufik as she gets up from the edge of the crater. Her hands ball into fists at her sides, her nails digging into her palms. She turns to Marina, eyes narrowing, a hint of disbelief in her voice. You just now decide to be sorry, when everything is gone, Krufik asks. Marina sighs, not at all surprised by Krufik's reaction. She was expecting it after all, yet the sight of her daughter's anger still pains her, no matter how hard she tries to deny it. Yes, I'm sorry, Marina repeats. The words sound foreign on her tongue, almost too foreign, like she isn't used to saying them. She isn't used to apologizing, especially not to Krufik. I was trying to do what was best for you. You always say that, Krufik interrupts, her tone harsh and bordering on a shout. She takes a step forward, eyes narrowing further, her words laced with venom. You always say you're doing what's best for me, but look where that's gotten me. She gestures to the crater behind her, the remnants of her world now reduced to rubble. You and Crux, Krufik continues as she pinches the bridge of her nose, and Eurillo. She pauses in an attempt to keep herself from starting to cry again. Helping me, right? She repeats, using air quotes. Well, guess what? Now I have nothing, all thanks to you. Marina's face remains cold and impassive, but the slightest hint of guilt flickers across her eyes. I was helping you, she repeats, an edge of irritation in her voice. All I ever do is to try to help you. Do you have any idea how exhausting that is? She takes a step forward, closing the distance between them. Do you think I enjoy making decisions for you? Making choices that make you hate me? Maybe I don't enjoy it, Marina snaps, her facade of indifference cracking. She runs a hand through her hair, a rare show of stress and frustration. But I do it anyway, because The words die on her tongue, the sentence unfinished, but its meaning still clear. Because I love you is what she wanted to say, but not even she is willing to admit that. The silence that follows is heavy, the weight of Marina's unspoken words palpable. Krufik's gaze softens, but her anger doesn't diminish. She looks away, her jaw clenching as if she's struggling with something. After a few moments, she finally speaks, her voice quieter now. So you do love me. Marina's eyes widen in surprise, a rare look of vulnerability flashing across her usually stoic face. She wasn't expecting those words from Krufik. Not now, not ever. Marina falters, her expression faltering for a moment. Of course I love you. She takes a step closer, her gaze roaming over her daughter's face as if committing every detail to memory. You're my daughter. Her voice drops to a near whisper, the voice carrying a weight that's been hidden for far too long. Marina reaches out, her hand hesitating in the air for a moment before gently cupping Krufik's cheek. It's an unfamiliar gesture from her, one that Krufik isn't used to. I've made mistakes, countless mistakes, Marina admits, her eyes never leaving Krufik's face. But everything I did it to protect you. She's trying to justify herself, to get Krufik to understand the reasoning behind her actions, even if they were extreme. Krufik almost flinches. She didn't even know Marina could touch her, because most of the time she sees her, she isn't physically there. Since Marina and Crux are both in Krufik's head, Crux more than Marina, they are usually like hallucinations Krufik sees. Only sometimes they can touch her. She's only ever seen Crux do it, but now that Marina is, and so lovingly too, she's surprised and thankful. As Krufik's bottom lip quivers, her arms fly from their frozen spot behind her, wrapping around Marina's back, but careful to avoid hitting her wings. She doesn't remember the last time she hugged her, but at least now she knows she's not completely alone. This is so sweet. Marina is taken aback by Krufik's sudden hug, her eyes widening slightly, but just as quickly her arms wrap around her daughter in return, pulling her close. She can feel Krufik tremble slightly, the emotions of the moment taking a toll on her. And in that moment, Marina feels a pang of guilt, of sadness. She should have done this more often. Showed her daughter affection. Loved her. But she couldn't. Marina holds her daughter tight, the silence between them now more comfortable, less strained. Despite the destruction in the background, in this moment, Krufik has found a little bit of comfort in the arms of her mother. For the first time in a long time, Krufik doesn't feel so alone. Morena whispers softly to her as they embrace, the words meant only for Krufik's ears in the silence of Frostfire's ruins. I love you, sweetheart. This is so... yeah. What CJ said, the lore hurts! Ugh, this is so sad. 07 to Frostfire, honestly. This gets a sad react from me. I know, I want to hug them both too! I've sent you an itemized bill. It will be delivered in 2 weeks. Yeah, the angst SMP. Not just angst on the SMP, this is the angst SMP. Journal of the Celestian Sun. Day 2 of the reversal. The days that followed upon the ruins of Celestion lay wasted as the land began to feel blood, as those who seek survival falls into banditry and a sense of barbarism. I can't say this word. To live another day. What once was a unison of scribes, musicians, and merchants have fallen into not more than violent barbarians who strive to do what only they care for, survival. I have yet to fall from the frozen grace, yet if I remain, I too will join. I must find a way to leave discreetly and find land that envelops a sense of united peace in a manner related to my title of scribe. Say, Celestia Kandorian, O frozen lady, grant me a safe passage to the land of frozen halls, where I shall forever beseech you my prayers once more. From Wolfblood, I think this is another animation, which... we're eating. Trigger warning, blood, animal death, high-pitched ringing, turn down volume, trust. Unfortunately, I cannot get it to be less loud or shorter, because there's an ending soon at the end, which goes on for a bit. As soon as you see it, you can move on. It's just a little animation repeated for the end. I tried everything I could in DaVinci, but nothing worked, or it would export only a little bit before canceling. Around 45 seconds when you can stop. I'm sorry, it's so scuffed. This is a fun way of introducing a new member to the Oasis. Let me see... There's a better way I can show this. Hello? Oh no, that one's further away. This is fine, I guess.
Danny. No. Why did you do that? What is wrong with you?
The ringing is a bit much. Sorry.
Answer me.
So sad. I don't know how you whip out these animations so fast. Also, you're right about it going on forever. Yeah, I don't know how you... I am going to commission you. I have exactly something in mind. I just have to... it's something that happens much later in the season. So I'll let you know like a few months before, but yeah. Unfortunately, I could not do more as the only thing society fears a job. Someone hit the job application jump scare. That, my friends, is an accurate example of tinnitus. Yeah. Alright, we have another journal from Biss.
Okay. Journal.
Check the OG message to get the transcript. Oh, let's go. Hold on.
Okay. Journal 103. Solace. Right. What's been happening? I'm still refurbishing the ship. It's quite a lot, really. I was getting used to the ship, and it was starting to feel quite small, but whenever you actually try to do anything in it, it turns out to be a lot, and it's been taking most of my time. But I've also adopted a creature.
A creature?
I don't really know what it is. It looks like a dinosaur, and it
A
finds
sniffer!
random, very weird seeds that have very pretty looking flowers, which is good. I like them. I've named them Anxiety because their face looks quite funny. But yeah, I like Anxiety.
Exactly, CJ.
Okay, ship. I will have to say, I've been feeling weird lately. They've had so much time to find me, and I've been running this entire time, and I've stopped running, but they haven't stopped looking for me. They'll find me eventually. I have to be prepared. I can't just exist here and not worry. Maybe this place was a bad idea. I don't know. But I've been thinking a lot about the past. I've been thinking about Vicky and Ray and Fox, and I miss them. It's lonely in here. And recording.
Lighthearted Lord gone! No! It's all gonna be doomed now. This is sad. Oh! My thing turned off. It's quiet. Era of doom and gloom, you're so right. It's quiet. Morana has not been talking to me, but she explained that she is working on her plan that she very briefly explained to me. It's weird, the silence. Someone write these down. H. I have time to do stuff I usually wouldn't have time to do. Write poems, spend time with Maroc, fish, and hunt. My hunger has been getting worse. I'm eating way more people than before. Usually 1 or 2 would satisfy me. E. For a month and more. But now I eat 3 or 4 and it barely gets me through the month. I'm not sure what's happening, but it's getting worse. On another note, A. I couldn't find Loss for a long time. They're good at hiding. I wonder if they play hide and seek in their free time. R. When I'm in their forest, I get this weird feeling, like someone is staring at me, but when I look at, no one is there. Is it a ghost? I don't know. If so, I wondered what unfinished business they have. I'm trying to get on neutral terms with Loss. That was the last thing Morana told me to do. So when I have nothing to do or bored, I try to do that. I hope Morana comes back and gives me more information soon. N. A few days later, Morana, O, has not returned, and I'm getting worried. It's been days with no answer of when she will come back, and the silence is fucking killing me. What plan is taking her ages to do? I miss her. E. I miss her information and her warm voice. Without her, my moves have gotten more sloppy and slow. I get hurt more. My hunger has been growing more. I'm eating even, V, more people, but it's never enough. I haven't seen Lost in ages. I'm not sure if they're even alive anymore, but their weird feeling has never left me. Instead, it gets worse. I swear sometimes I see a ghost, but every time I see them, they change their appearance a bit. But when I try to focus, it disappears. I'm losing my mind. L. I hope Morana comes back. I need her. It's Hear No Evil? Ooh. Oh, is this about like hearing the ghost thing? I say the letters so aggressively, it's funny. Sorry. E O L. You are the youngest person ever. Thoughts of a spirit. EA Sports. It is a little.
Name?
My name is Yuvan Marasani.
How old are you?
That kid is
I'm
like
4 years
so
old.
brave for
You
being
are
on
the youngest
stage.
person ever.
It is a little foreign hearing my own thoughts. It is usually quiet, yes. My mind learned to be that way, since it was never really its turn to talk. I learned to write it down, or speak aloud. My old habits remain, even though I am more limited now, being a ghost. It is not the worst thing to be. Monsters walk right through me. Most people do the same. I am not there for them, just another part of the atmosphere, the oxygen they breathe in. It being simpler for me to travel allows many sights, sounds. I never thought I would see a giant walking pair of legs strutting its way across the ocean. Though this planet is not known for their sane people, so it is not extremely shocking. I observed more people arriving, finding comfort in the world they now reside in, settling in and building, creating friends. For now, it seems peaceful. However, this ability brings me to stumble upon things I should not have. One was a burial. I will not specify more. I'm sure many already know. We don't have many days made it clear enough. We don't have many days mentioned? I did leave a flower, however. One that will not be found. Oh, this was Cypher's grave. Wait, they saw Cypher being buried? Ooh. I did leave a flower, however, one that will not be found. Another is the discussion of conquering Solace. Now that is new. An entire faction is based around it, based around the leader's belief. Her belief that it was promised to her by her god. I doubt any gods are that generous, but I digress. I could be wrong. Although some parts of this discussion seem genuine in the need to protect, it is more than likely lies wrapped in gold. To convince the doubtful that the leader has spoken to, my judgment could be misplaced. I will continue to observe for the time being as a precaution. It is unlikely that I would be able to report any concerns regarding this or similar situations. Lady Freya, wherever she may be, knows nothing of my existence, and I have my doubts she could see me regardless. Technically, Freya, I don't know if she could see you. She might be able to sense you being there. I don't know if you can, interact with things at all. But she's kind of in a similar boat. The form that people see, that's not her. That is a, projection of herself. She is just made of energy and is undetectable. But she chooses to, make that form so that people can interact with her and everything. But she can sense... She can kind of sense things. She can't, pinpoint, if she's looking for someone or whatever. She can't pinpoint, but she can kind of, And she, gave herself some, nerves to be able to touch things. She gave herself taste buds, not that that would help. And she can, hear and see in a way. But, yeah, she would definitely relate to that. Anyway. And I'm not keen on tampering with that. I barely do such a thing, and when I do, it's only for a short time, and for a good reason decided by myself. Besides, she may regard it as the new people of Solace adjusting to the customs, having grown up with ones more lenient or much stricter. We will see how that goes. My appearance is quite unsettling now. I believe Kran did a... I think it's Kran. Kran? My god, I can never remember it. Did a faint drawing of me somewhere. I do not have feet anymore. My antlers are almost completely melted to nothing. Wait, this is Alfie! This is Alfie! Kron, thank you. Is this Alfie? My eyes and mouth are just gaping voids. Well, one of my eyes. Oh my god, it's Alfie. The other has a wide black slash over it. like what it used to have. In the center of my chest is a giant void hole once again. The only difference is that it leaks, at least more than my eye does. Black, tar-like substance crawls its way out every now and again. It never falls to the ground, however. It's almost as if... Because, I mean, I'm guessing Freya like, has at least met most of the people who visit, like, live on Solace, or she tries to keep track of everyone. If Alfie tried to communicate, she'd probably, like, recognize him. I have no mouth, yet I must scream. Yes! Lore poem is done. It took so long. Oh, let's go. It is almost as if that is what remains of my insides, which are still clinging to my bones and flesh, or whatever remains within me. I would not be surprised if that were the case. I'm not complaining about it, obviously. It's better than not having a form. I cannot hold things. Well, sometimes I can, but it takes a lot of energy. Energy that is discomforting. It hurts. And the items fall through my fingers, through my arms, through my palms. So far, to write this much, it has taken me days. The pen would fall upon the crafting table. The book would whisk up a dirt cloud, the white pages slowly becoming brown at the edges. It is so frustrating. I need to touch things, to use and craft, but I cannot do that. I need to do things, and I cannot do basic tasks that a baby could do. I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I cannot write, I cannot feel, I cannot hold. I cannot even hug those around me because everything goes through me like I am not there, because I am not anymore. I am never going to be there. It is so cold. I am so angry now. I never was like this before. I do not remember being like this. I had never needed something so badly. Is what is missing from my chest? Did I kill it? Is it with the others? I want my brother back. I want a hug, please. Can death carry me to bed now? I do not like the graves I caused. My apologies. I can find people who enter the forest, almost like a sixth sense in a way. It is handy, mainly because Kron cannot see so well. The guidance is helpful for them. They still try to do things on their own, and they are quite capable. But if they are using their elytra or climbing in trees, a hand is needed. They have hurt themselves way too much. I find myself worrying about them more than they worry about themselves. They love finding random things and taking them home. It could be the most useless thing ever, but if it's pretty, it goes in their pocket. If their pockets are full, they take off their hood and put things in there. They have grown attached to soft things, so I've been finding teddies here and there and bringing them home to them. Their favorites so far have been a black cat with green eyes, a phantom, and a strider. They have a couple more different animals littered around the home, but those are the creatures they ask the most questions about. I built up a story around the cat, but it is not something I wish to share yet. Gods are another interest of theirs, or powerful deities in general. I spoke of many, researching in the library myself, and other sources. And personal opinions as well. I named those they should be wary of. Loomis. Yes. I spoke of those that are not evil intent, at least towards them. They had been the most interested in the goddess of love and the father of the angel. Despite the limited information I had on the letter, Kron seems fascinated, and they know of the father of the angel from one of the stories I told them. One I believe they are currently writing down. Writing down the stories is a good practice, especially when writing in English. It helps them learn the language, as I have not come across anyone who speaks... Oh my god, I don't want to mispronounce this again. Gaeilge? Other than Kron and myself. Minor crash out warning, uh-oh. I wasn't paying attention, I heard Loomis. It is for when they leave the forest, when they grow comfortable with the world they are live in. When they believe that not everyone wants war and harm. It is for when they grow up, essentially. I am not needed to hold their hand anymore. When I will do then, when that time comes, I'm not sure. Oh, what I will do then, when that time comes, I'm not sure. But maybe I can rest. Maybe I can go looking for my brother. Only time will tell. And my silent prayers for peace until then and beyond. I love the Alfie lore drop. Here we go. Okaz log number 2. It seems a few of the residents of this planet are less than happy with our goals. So much so that I've heard word of a resistance movement against us. While I cannot say I anticipated them to be willing, this development certainly frustrates me. But hopefully our newly appointed public relations manager can help calm things down. She's naive. Naive to an almost dangerous extent. I can use her, same as Ito. Granted, the two do not get along. Perhaps that's for the best. If they don't speak to each other, then I essentially control the flow of information in the higher ranks of the house. Then, when the time comes, it won't be hard to convince Froggy that Ito needs to go. His motivations get in the way, but he is still useful to me. Development on the new Harmonia is going well, as one could hope. There's even talks going on about some sort of public transportation system being built nearby. As small as it may seem, it may make it easier to convert people to our cause. The more people we have, the harder it will be for this pitiful resistance attempt to stop us. This planet will be mine, and mine alone. I love the growing threat of the House of Ocular Enlightenment. The house having a PR team still makes me giggle. Yeah, same. We have from Seraphine Villara. Long before mortals traced sigils in the soil or named stars with trembling tongues, there was Eliath. Eliath, the hollow bloom, was not born of flesh or flame, but the conjured form, the vacant dreams of dying gods. A deity of stillness and sorrow, he was formed in the pale womb, a space between time and silence, by an ancient collective of divine architects who feared death's chaos but craved its power. His domain was the fold of ash, a realm of suspended decay, where life neither blossomed nor perished, only waited. Eliath was tasked with watching. He observed the last moments of galaxies, sealed away memories of perished worlds, and harvested the echoes of souls too afraid to move on. In this he was holy. But stagnation is its own disease. Why do we have, like, crazy good writing today? This is all really good. Eliath? Sorry. Eliath. Got it. Eliath. Can't believe Ho is a threat with a name like that. True. Over epochs, Eliath developed a longing for something beyond observation. In his yearning, a new affliction was born. Not Kanaiaroma, nor not rot or bloom, but something crystalline and colder. Shaking! It was called Carthurial, the fracture of mind. Unlike plagues that devour the body, Carthurial infects the mind. It burrows into thoughts like seeds into damp soil, blooming into hallucinatory whispers. Victims slowly spiral into madness, their sanity peeling back layer by layer. First, they hear voices, then they trust them. Soon they forget what was theirs to begin with. They laugh at pain, they weep at joy. They find meaning in violence and chaos and order. Carthurial is the slow erosion of reason. A beautiful... Sorry, I just realized you guys are having the picture cut off a little. A beautiful unraveling of identity. It lures victims into rituals of their own invention, making puppets of free will, and yet none of them knew Eliath. None of them saw the sadness within the god who gave them purpose through insanity. Driven mad by the madness he sowed, Eliath shattered the part of his essence and cast it into the outer planes, seeking a kindred mind. He sought a being with a pain deep enough to resist the sweet distortion of the Carthurial. One whose brokenness would mirror his own. Prophecy, whispered by ancient spores that grew along his sleeping temples, spoke of such a being. A mind not whole, a flame in the past, a mirror cracked, shall know his name. This mortal, this anchor of hollow bloom, would not surrender to the voices, but challenged them. They would carve through the madness, and in doing so, blind Eliath to feel once again. Eliath waits, unseen, among dreamless pilgrims and whispering shadows. His temples pulse with soft insanity, his servants scream in silence through painted smiles. But somewhere far from the verge, the anchor stirs, and Carthurial, no longer a quiet madness, roars with a purpose. Not a plague, not salvation, a lullaby of insanity, a love stitched with screams, a hunger to be remembered. Ooh. It's a bit slow. I tried my best in my first attempt at making a lore video. Lore video! Let's go. Glitching warning. Can't wait to play the music disc I got. Is this supposed to be sound? Sunset's so pretty today. Oh! What happened? Whoa, the nether is so cool. No, don't fall off! No! Wait, I'm back? Was that a dream? Is this the origins of the respawning at your bed? Oh, who's at the door? Slash back! You slash back! Cathuria? Carthurial. How was I saying it? Carthurial? How was I saying it? The door! The door! Glad you made it home, Kath. I crave the gacha music. Oh, we got another video. I said it before you said it just in case. I see. Sound warning. Guess there to help after all. Good. Something thrive. Oh my god, I can't read this at all. Oh, it looks like CJ figured it out already. Of course, I see you. Oh. Guess I have to help after all. Not surprised at that. It's missing a lot for it to actually work. Oh, is this the portal that Lynx went through? Yeah, I'm guessing the bitrate dropped from that. Freya, here's a fun fact. Scroll down. You guys make so much fun of me for not realizing that things have already been solved. I can't escape. Alright, back to this. Froggy's personal journal, day 1. So, not sure how to start this out, but I guess I'll start with the fact that I'm here in a new world. The workers in the lab that I was in suddenly died. The lab kind of exploded, I guess? Maybe it was a bad chemical accident or something. Anyway, this world is amazing. So beautiful and fresh. And the people here are so kind. And I finally found my people. I came across this swamp with frogs in it. They didn't seem to recognize me as a frog as well, but it's alright. The swamp was next to a place that had nice walls, too. When I was playing in the mud, this warden kind of person came up to me. Oh, Froggy, don't do it. She said she was the leader of the House of Ocular Enlightenment, and that their name was Okul. I don't really know what those words mean, but she offered me a job as public relations manager. Also, don't really know what that means, but she said it's basically making friends with leaders, so yeah. There was also this other guy that who looks really scary. His name is Ito, from what Okal said. He gives me this kind of look whenever I talk. It scares me, but I'm sure I can befriend him too. No! Don't do it! No! Froggy, don't do it! A dream. I was hunting out late today and forgot that stars exist. Oh yeah, I forget stars exist all the time. I forgot how much I used to love them. I heard that there was a civilization called Star Sleepers. Like the name suggests, they slept on stars. That's it. Sometimes they would fall with their star for a mission. I loved that story. In my next life, I would love to be a star sleeper. Aw. The Shattering of Quasar. Here we go. CJ's friend wants to be friends with Loomis? Uh-oh, that's a red flag. Act 1, The Unseen Void. For centuries, Quasar traversed the realm of Solace, a cosmic being of shifting light and intent, revered as protector and teacher. It did not draw sustenance from the ground, or was bound by the fate of the planet, but was a wanderer from the stars, a being whose source of power, life, and wisdom had no bounds. But something was percolating at the outer rim of Solace's reality, something malevolent. It was a distant tingle at first, a disturbance in the texture of space itself, barely perceptible even to Quasar, but then it began to intensify. Quasar, the product of a star that had blown up, A quasar that one day had shone so intently that it had remade galaxies was attracted to a vacuum. Quasar felt pain for the first time, a strange and terrifying sensation for something so ancient. It could feel the light within dimming. At first, Quasar thought it was a symptom of the world's eternal cosmic turmoil, the same rent in the stars which had challenged Solace many cycles ago. But this was different. This was within. Light in Quasar was being consumed. Something was feeding on its presence as a source of energy. Act 2, The Hollowing. Quasar set out in search of the only other creature in the universe that might understand its desperation, the Astral Council, a group of ancient beings who dwelt on the edge of the void beyond. They were cosmic intelligences who had once seen stars born and galaxies die. They had also known Quasar when it was young. The Council could help them, they said. The Council always knew. But when Quasar arrived at the Council's hidden enclave, a station of monolithic crystalline spires floating in the endless space, something was terribly wrong. The Council was silent. The spires were broken, shattered to splintered shards glowing with dim, dying light, and among the wreckage, Quasar found an enigmatic message carved into the walls. The Entropy Maw is coming. You are its gate. The light will be consumed. There is no return. Confused and frightened, Quasar tried to address the ruins of the Council, but it discovered nothing, not even the energy of the creatures who had once been so large, so aware. The Entropy Maw. The cryptic message haunted Quasar, and its body began to reflect the devastation it was enduring. The strands of light previously flowed smoothly and gracefully, but now stumbled, as if tugged by a malevolent force. Its shape twisted as its internal energy was being drained. Quasar was revealed the truth in a powerful vision. There existed in the universe's furthest reaches a cosmic entity known as the Entropy Maw. It was not something that was made of matter, but rather a force, an ancient manifestation of the universe's end, a dark gravity that consumed light, energy, and matter itself. The Maw had slept for eons, but it was waking up. The Maw was waking up, and Quasar was the key. Somehow, Quasar had become a vehicle for the Maw's hunger, a star-collapsed creature. Quasar's own being fits so well with the destructive power of the Maw. Centuries, the Maw had fed on the light of Quasar, growing stronger every second. Now it stretched out across the galaxy to take Quasar as its source. Quasar was dying, and worse, it was being turned into the Maw's prison. We really are eating with Quasar stuff. We have so much. How do you write this fast? That's my question. With the realization that it was being consumed from the inside out, Quasar's own identity broke. It had never known fear before, and yet here it was threatened by the horrific possibility of annihilation. Hello and welcome. And yet here it was, not just the elimination of its own life, but the devastation of all light that it ever generated. Someone likes your Minecraft story mode, OCs? Nice. But there was hope, maybe. Senna Vel, the Mindweaver scholar who had for so long shared communion with Quasar, felt pain emanate from the being. The shining ball in the sky began to fade, and nightmares supplanted Senna's dreams. She saw Quasar's transforming form, writhing in agony as dark silhouettes began to break apart the being. Fits of stars above perished. In a desperate attempt, she held out her hand, connecting her mind to Quasar's, attempting to merge consciousness. She hoped that if she could exchange consciousness with Quasar, she could help stabilize the entity's fractured self. But as their minds became joined, she saw the true cost. Quasar's soul was breaking. The light that was in it was unraveling, and the more she reached out, the more she felt herself being pulled into the same darkness. The choice. The time of reckoning had come. Quasar's form now oscillates in spasmodic bursts of light, the last gasp of a star. The Entropy Maw was at hand, its hold tightening by the fraction of an instant. Quasar was forced to make a ghastly choice. It may allow the Maw to take it, to be consumed and destroyed, as the Maw would use Quasar's energy to initiate a cascade reaction, tearing space and time asunder, killing all light in its wake. Or Quasar could simply give itself up completely, combining with the darkness to create an unbreachable line, a nothingness that would bring the Maw to an immediate halt and render it forever trapped, confining both Quasar and the Entropy Maw in an internal cell of frozen stasis. Senna Vel, who was attuned to the being of Quasar, called to the creature to choose life, to learn how to heal. But Quasar knew that healing would not be found in fleeing. The Maw would not be healed. it would only have to be sealed. And so, in a final act of ultimate selflessness, Quasar made its decision. In a burst of blinding, radiating, fiery scarlet light, Quasar bricked itself into the maw. An act of cosmic sacrifice. The light faded. The sky above Solace grew slightly darker. There was slight blackness for weeks, and then slow, faint glimmers of light crept in again. The stars came back to the heavens, and Quasar, at its point of death, had created a shield around the universe, trapping the entropy maw for all time. This is like crazy, like, universe-changing stuff, and everyone on Solace is just like, doo-doo-doo. What will I eat today? Years passed. Solace thrived still, though its people no longer saw Quasar's shining light. Rather, the sky was changed, darker and mysterious. But there was peace of mind, too. A tranquility of the galaxy that the people had never known. Senevel, a frail old woman today, sat on the cliffs where Quasar once hovered. She had lived to see the light return, but she never stopped sensing the absence. Somewhere in the universe, far in space, Quasar waited. As time passed, the residents of Solace continued to live in this darkened sky under which, at one time, Quasar's radiant light had flashed. The demise of Quasar left an aching void deep within the hearts of so many, but most importantly, the balance of the universe appeared to totter. The entropy maw may be shut, but something was still off. The sky was darker than it once was. The stars were present, but they glowed with a weak light. Time itself felt ephemeral. I am using all of my knowledge of words today. As if the tide of the universe had been cut short by Quasar's departure. Solace's folk came to question the very nature of light and darkness. Others whispered in hushed tones that the balance was never intended to be broken. But then the signs began. And then there was the blooming of the nightbloom flower, this abnormal weird plant that only bloomed if it was under Quasar's light. It had died off when Quasar had vanished, but now, centuries after it had been resting, it began to grow again. Again! Centuries! Is this on Solace still? It began to grow again, budding its vibrant red petals in the most unexpected places. Then Senevel, an old lady now, began having these strange dreams. Dreams where she dreamed she'd see Quasar's form. Centuries passed like seconds for Quasar. I guess, well, yeah, if centuries pass like seconds for Quasar, are centuries passing or seconds passing? I guess I'm just confused. So, seconds? The nightbloom flower, like, had vanished for only a few seconds? And then centuries? I'm just confused. More like a week or two. Okay, so seconds feel like centuries to Quasar. But then, how would it be a sign if, like, the nightbloom flower, like, kind of stopped blooming and then came back after a week or so? I don't know if that would even be noticed. Anyway. Dreams where she dreamed she see Quasar's form. The dreams were vivid, intense, and each time she had the dream, Quasar whispered, "I am not gone, I never was." Senna could not resist the summons. The omens were clear. Quasar was trying to communicate. The might of the entropy's maw's imprisonment was slowly fading, and something tremendous was rumbling at the very navel of the universe. Time warping? Maybe. Senna, attracted by an unexplainable urge, made her way to the Ashen Peaks, the mountain range where Quasar had also fallen into its final sacrifice. She climbed higher, deeper than ever before, to the ancient cavern of light where Quasar had once merged with the astral core. There, beneath the rock, she found a glowing splinter, a crystal that throbbed with an unearthly, eerie red glow. It was small, larger than the fist of a child, but its energy radiated heat, as if the very spirit of Quasar had been contained within it. The crystal trembled, and in the shaking, Senna heard Quasar's voice again, more powerful than before. "I have become more than I was. I will be what I am meant to be." Since a quasar is a black hole emitting light, due to relativity, time is much slower near it in space. I see. Maybe I'm just too dumb for this. The shard was Quasar's soul, a fragment of the cosmic being's light that had somehow endured the destruction of the Maw. A seed, a spark of resurrection. Senna knew what she had to do. With a final prayer, Senna closed her eyes. For a fleeting, endless moment, all stood still. The earth, the sky, the air that filled her lungs. Time held its breath away. Then there was a flash, a blinding, dazzling burst of scarlet light that filled the entire world. As the sun set, Solace's residents saw something that they never dared to imagine. Quasar returned. Quasar floated above the altar, its scale humbling but comforting. The skies above Solace twinkled and the light returned, more brilliant than before. Quasar spoke, not in words, but in a ripple of understanding that moved around the world. It was like each Solace resident, from the longest-lived elder to the smallest child, heard the same news at the same moment. I have been remade. The Maw has been sealed, but I am not light. I am the protector of balance. I will interweave the strands of time and defend the stars. The people of Solace, who had once feared the destruction of Quasar's light, now witnessed the creation of a new dawn. Solace was not only fixed, it was renewed. Quasar, recreated, would be a bridge between the stars and the earth, a keeper of light and darkness. As the days passed, Quasar roamed again on the earth. Oh, on Earth! But this time not as a spectral wanderer. On Earth?! Anyway, this time it was a living force of nature. It became the protector of the astral core, keeping the balance between light and darkness stable. It guided Solace's people into an era— Wait! Earth! Earth is in Solace. Okay. It guided Solace's people into an era of peace and harmony, where its time itself began to become whole once more. And so Solace ushered in a new age, an age where the stars shone brighter, the crops were more resilient, and the hearts of the people were not burdened by the fear of the night. Quasar is now situated at the edge of the observable universe, gazing out into infinity. It is no longer bound by the same universal law it once was. It travels across realms, no longer as an entity, but as a keeper of balance, light and darkness, creation and destruction, hope and despair. And with the first light of dawn creeping over Solace once more, Senna looks up towards the sky in which Quasar's shining form now shines, knowing that Quasar has found its fate. It has returned, but not as it used to be, but as it was meant to be, the constant watchful eye of light. So is that the end of Quasar? I mean, like, of the story? Interesting. Thank you, Mika. We have another video. Sorry, like I said, I'm still like really tired from being sick. So, all of the lore today has been so cool, but I'm just like, I need to go back to bed. Wait, this is cool. Wait, I want to read this. Hold on. Solace is a planet that was made by Frey to help survivors of the great anomaly made by Echo. The planet is of great interest for Eliath and his jesters. Frey is a Lumeran, a being of pure energy. Most see her as a god of nature. Seems to be powerful yet kind. One of the jesters suggests she has too much blood on her hands to be considered that. We will see. Too much blood on her hands! My god. How'd you get this working on, like, this, like, PlayStation, obviously? What is this? Seems like a mod. Echo, exterminate, correct, habitate, observe. Did I write that? Oh yeah, I think that's on the wiki. I was like, wow, how'd you know that? Is an organization whose goal is to replace the universe's population with clones. The Jesters laughed at the fact that Eliath got angry that he wasn't able to join them. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Eliath, bad. Jesters. There were once more than 2 of them, but the Great Anomaly took the rest of them. The 2 left are Solmirth and Nixeric, 2 very different Jesters that were once intertwined. Oh. Solmirth, or otherwise known as the Day-Drunk Fool, he is desperate to keep people smiling. He babbles non-stop and is easily triggered into manic episodes of ignored or mocked. He loves kids. Nixeric, or otherwise known as the Nightgut Grinner, he hates children, calls them meat puppets with sticky souls. If he laughs, someone dies within the hour. He can silence a whole room whenever he wants. Not the finger in the camera. Interesting. Project Obsessed is trying to make this specimen, Seraphine Valara, to fall in love with Eliath. She's been infected with Carthuriel. Though it is slow, she does have the Jester's voices in her head. Recently, she has received a gift called Loira, a small cannibal child. Alright, we're going up now. Ooh. This is in the end. Interesting. Oh! Okay. It's an NPC I used commands to connect other NPCs to the main one. No mods. Wow! That's cool. Really awesome. And good on you for going to the wiki and, like, actually researching stuff for that. It took forever? Yeah. That's really cool. One of the cooler things I've seen people make. Ward. Someone's creeping on Comet. A heart, no longer beating. Okay. Oh, well, I can't zoom in on this. I found a black wolf. The fella kept trying to follow me around while I was trying to take pictures of some of the fauna. Yeah, pictures of Comet. I haven't come up with a name for them yet. Maybe Shelvira, the fella. Did we read this before? Yeah, Anubis. Yeah. Seems someone gave Malgraffin a heart as an offering. I'm unsure what to do with this. I guess I'll leave it for now. It's not staining anything with blood. Maybe I'll talk to Havoc about it? If they even know what to do with it. Anubis mentioned, though. We have Waffle House turning into an SCP, of course. The contents of the book. Oh, there's a book! Oh, I see. This is the one in the end, isn't it? Spawning observations 1 out of 2. The structure spawns anywhere, regardless of space. This is an SCP. The exoskeleton of every structure is the same. See exception mutation. Spawning observations 2 of 2. The internals of the structure is exactly the same if undisturbed. Small crumbs and bits of waffle are commonly seen on the floor. Environment and house. The environment makes room for the structure. When appearing, the structure destroys anything in the space it desires to occupy, no matter what. Regarding mutations, in rare cases the internals of the structure are compromised by water or other foreign bodies. This can cause the structure to adapt its glass panes to glass blocks. Huh. Waffle House SCP. This one's on the nether roof? Oh my god, it's everywhere. Well, I think S was already S was already used. 2 for 1, Mira and Dante lore. Oh, let's go. I have PDFs to open. Mira's talked to herself. I visited the Ho base. They're growing bigger and I do not have a good feeling about their leaders. They hired a PR manager, a person jolly to the core. It kind of reminds me of Dane and his lackeys. Butter them up and then sever them cold. I've been keeping an eye on them since their scandal with Pure Spirits. Their leaders are charming at some degree, but that makes me more concerned about their goal. I offered to build a gas station at their base. It was a good opportunity to hide a recorder there. Dante set up a network across the mainland, so I don't need to pick up the recorder from the hiding place. It's all being uploaded to my computer. Where they go, where they've been. It's small bits of information, but my map is taking all of it. All gas stations, where everyone has been, where everyone goes. People will rebel, get together to try to get power for themselves. All I need is the map and their words. They will not suspect it. I'm only sorry that I have to involve innocent people into this map, but I can't spare any chances. I will be focusing on helping Dante with the Zarium fabrication. If we want a good shot at getting a better standard of care, we need them. Ooh. Transcripts from memo recordings. Is this too bright for y'all? Can, do this. Crackling. Engineer's log, new planet, 1800 hours. It has been 3 days since Mira and I decided to land on this planet. The ship's protective outer layer wore down over the years of landings. When they're entering the mesosphere, the landing module broke. The outer layers of the ship burned up. If we hadn't made it to the protective pod, we would have been burnt alive. During the second day, we ventured out and found a place to call home, but the dangers of the night kept me awake. I scoured the area for the remains of our ship. The trajectory was uncertain when we arrived, but it seemed that the river near the town center will give some indication on where the cockpit ended up in. End log. Engineer's log, stabilization 1500 hours. It took days before we finished our house, and during those days I could barely see Mira while we took shifts to watch. Even then I could barely get any sleep without worrying for her. I've seen her more energetic recently, and I have been too. It's weird, but my mom was an elf. I guess it has something to do with that. It makes sense. Mother said that being an elf in Maileron didn't change her life. The artificial world wasn't friendly to magic. Fake roses, no real trees, no real soil. Everything on Maileron was artificial, just like the people there. My magic has been affected as well. Magic here seems to be greater than in Maileron, and magical creatures who aren't from our sector seem to be in their natural state. Years of deprivation on elves in Maileron seems to have made me out of tune with my magic. I guess that's why I do not fear technology unlike most creatures here. I'm still trying to find the cockpit, but I'm sure if anything is salvageable at this point. I'm not sure if anything is salvageable at this point. Maybe some of the chips and my communicators, but I doubt they will be at the quality they used to be. Mira also left her backpack in the cockpit with her memo. I don't blame her. I dragged her into the safety pod while she was still trying to salvage the landing. Sometimes I wake up with the image of her charred corpse and how close we were to dying. I won't let it happen. It won't happen. End log. Engineer's log, Discovery, 200 hours. It's been a while since I recorded a log, but I found the cockpit. Mira found her memo and has returned to her habit of recording a conversation every day. I guess it's healthy. She still refuses to talk with people for a long time, aside from me. I rarely interact with people, but that isn't out of the ordinary, I guess. Machines are simple. I let Mira handle the people. It makes sense that people here trust her with their petty squabbles. It's useless to me, but she seems to have a passion for it. Yeah, her passion. I'll be honest, I never thought she would be into law, less to be the one setting up the whole system. We've been cautious since the rise of Dane back home. We both know that something is bound to happen, and her involvement in Keepers of Solace is a way for us to help. End log. Engineer's you know what? Forget it. We found out what happened today. I'd let Mira go to the librarians today to read the books while I started building an engine prototype. I didn't know what happened, but I found her hyperventilating on the ground, just like when we left Maileron. It took me some time before I could carry her home. She woke up a few times and then went back to sleep. I've been trying to stay strong for the both of us. We need stability. I read the books. How couldn't I? Her eyes were scared, and now I understand why. We're both engineers, made specifically to create reason in every aspect of our lives. The real nightmare isn't that the people will be gone forever, but all the implications of them coming back to this apocalypse. We endured 6 years. Sector 324 is in shambles. No food or supplies are being sent to the sector. The intergalactic travel is stalled. The economy is ruined, and even the ships left in the universe are failing without proper maintenance. Data can always be recovered. I, of all people, know that. But when recovering millions, hell, quadrillions of creatures into desolated wastelands is the result, wouldn't that just bring suffering? There isn't an equation that could justify bringing them back. Even if we resume trade instantly, my home is doomed. My parents would die from starvation before we could realistically get enough food to feed 10 times our current population. Millions would die, even if we prepared everything beforehand. There's no government, there's no treaty, everyone would die. Salvation isn't a possibility in this world. End log. That's an interesting point, that, like, if we were able to bring back the clones of people, at least, would there be enough resources after this long? Engineer's log, water, 1700 hours. Mira walked into the home soaked after I heard her screaming some spells from her favorite fantasy book. Seems that I was right with my deduction on magic, for elves at least. She's been doing better with it, forcing herself to train with it multiple times a day. Freya, can I have NPCs in the server? I want to use them for lore, but I'm not. If not, that's okay. I don't know what NPCs are. Is it like a plugin thing that I could add or whatever? I'm not sure how it works. It might be a Bedrock only thing. I don't know. I've been doing the same, and I see why she's having so much fun with it. I started on working on creating cores again, even when I don't have access to Cerium. I should still be able to find a substitute with enough electrical activity to keep up with the core. Mika has been focusing on smaller ventures, but my attention has been focused on this project. I appreciate her inputs anytime she can make one. Seems her passion for core development is still there under the legal profession. End log. Engineer's log, private, 300 hours. Cerium. We were supposed to learn what that is after commencement, when we got out the academy. But from what I understand, it's nuclear, a concentration of uranium and thorium. I need a generator, a way for me to recreate it so we can finally create more ships. Maybe then we can improve this planet. Mira has been doing the math. We would need to be close to the core of the planet. Walls that are thick enough to withstand a tornado inside it, basically. We will start building that tomorrow. Maybe I can finally ask her. End log. That's cool. My throat's starting to hurt. NPCs is in the base game. You can get them by doing summon NPCs or give NPC eggs. You can use commands to have them. I think that might be a Bedrock only thing. Let me look. They're exclusive to Minecraft Education and Bedrock. So, yeah, I don't think we could have them because ours is a Geyser server, which is Java and Bedrock. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Book of Malgrifin. Recovered page 1. I will not add the, well, I guess I could do this. It might make it easier to watch. Spirit Bloom. Spirit Realm Connection. Upon consumption, the Spirit Bloom allows the consumer to have access to the Spirit Realm. Once the flower is consumed, this ability is permanent. The consumer can see, hear, and interact with spirits through this ability. Could you interact with Alfie? These spirits can vary from animals to humanoids. Havoc. Interesting. Mal. The Ghost Ducks? Ghost Ducks? Appearance. The Spirit Bloom. A rare white flower that gives off a soft glow from its center. The petals, soft and light in texture, curl at the ends, growing slightly skinnier, thicker petals, in all the form of an arch, sprout from beneath the head of the flower. The Spirit Bloom is rare, often being mistaken for a thicker part of a vine during the daylight hours. They only open for a set amount of time, 1 hour to be exact, in the very late hours. They grow from some of the pale vines that hang from the trees. Vines of sickness. Use gloves to avoid vine effect. Use shears to avoid flower damage. The Ghost Ducks. What's with the Ghost Ducks? Interesting. Huh? The past that lays buried may crawl its way into the light. Interesting. I didn't get to write the Irish bit in time. Rip. so much Google. It's not supposed to be in the format. It was fine when I left it. Oh, it was something messed up? Oh no. Looked like Bagel's old chapel. Oh, interesting. Gaelga, that's what it was that I was trying to pronounce before. Recovered in a barrel near Entity Zero's home. It wasn't the Fisher this time that came by mooching around my house. It was a different box-headed person. I only went to get food and come back to my house full of signs. Hey there, hi, haha, hello, and smiley faces written on each note, each one. One of them said, I am watching you. That was in my nook. Their O's were always written tall, almost as if the pitch goes higher. I wonder now if that's how they talk and they were showing it on the signs. It's a little stupid if that were it. I thought it was Mr. Fisher. They had the same wings he had. They used fireworks to launch themselves up into the sky. They were jumping and hiding in the trees. Well, not really hiding. They kept landing in front of me, throwing stuff through the entrance of my home, especially my arrows. They just bounced off their body like that. It was nothing. Like it was nothing. Not even scratching the orange suit or that ugly hat. I assume their entire thing they had on was inspired by a pumpkin lantern. They had the creepy face for it, that's for sure. They left after a while, flying around and being chaotic, and that is when Croy came back. I think they knew about the grinning person showing up. I never heard them be that concerned and angry before about someone being nearby. Turns out they knew this boxhead too. It's mildly worrying that Croy knows so many stalkers. We got into an argument about it. They weren't being honest about things. They got frustrated, I got frustrated. They lost their temper and their words made the jukebox crackle, and a small, odd speaker box they carried around exploded, smoke pouring from it and sparks flying out. That is what stopped the fight. Almost immediately. Croy grew really worried. They kept trying to fix it, but it kept falling through their hands, breaking it even more. Eventually they managed to scoop it up, and the next thing I knew, they were gone again. I was left to clean up, and to make sure there weren't any more stalkers in the treetops. Croy obviously came back. They wouldn't leave me, I know that. They came back with a Strider, Teddy, and apologized. They told me that Striders are creatures from a realm called the Nether that can walk on lava. People use them as a way to travel across lava pools, too. That sounds really cool. The Teddy was so big as the dinosaur one that I found, maybe bigger, and so fucking soft. Croy made me clean up as well, like my clothes, my hair, all of that. I managed the clothes the best I could. I got most of the new stains out, but Croy helped me with my hair and my face. I didn't like taking off my mask for them to do that. It felt unnatural, uncomfortable. But we compromised and blocked up the entrance to my nook so they could do what they needed to do inside. I can see so much better now, actually. Well, everything is still blurry, but there aren't as many black splotches in my vision anymore. And I only realized that I had spikes sticking on my head when Croy was washing it. They're really small, though, one on either side of my head. I think that's cool. I still don't like what Croy is hiding, Croy is hiding things from me. I don't really understand why they're doing that. If they are, I want to know. I'm not a child. I can handle whatever it is. And we can work through it. It's just the two of us, after all. The stalkers might know something. CJ, I love all of the lore that you write. Nyx's recount of the Dryad of the tree. Suddenly, a Dryad emerged from the tree. She said she's been inhabiting the seed since even before my mother gave it to me. She soon told me that my mother was a Dryad and also her mother. But to me, that is an unbelievable thing, as I had never seen my mother's tree, even if she had truly been a Dryad. Why wouldn't she tell me that? But my sister said to take a rest and digest the information, then it will make more sense. The Picrew. Alright, we have the Cath lore, the Eleanor lore, Ella lore, and Ellen lore. I'm getting really tired, I'm sorry. July 29th, Eleanor Keener. It had been a few days since my last interaction with the captain, and I had spent my time exploring this new world at my own leisure. Having come across the land designated for the Arcturus crew, the whole 2 members that were left, it made sense to swing by and take a look at any plans he may have for the area. I arrived at his cabin around 13:30, and quite frankly, it didn't look like anyone was home. Lights were off, the silence was deafening. The only clue that he was even home was his boots sitting just outside the door, caked in mud. Tentatively, I approached the door and took his advice for once. I knocked on the door. After a few moments, movement could be heard from inside the house as someone or something moved around. Before long, the lock clicked and the door swung open. "Can't a man get some privacy?" He stopped halfway through his sentence once his eyes landed on me. "Oh, Eleanor, come in," he sighed, rubbing his temple and turning back into the house. I stepped inside and closed the door behind me with a soft click. The room was the same as before, just with his jacket tossed haphazardly over the back of the chair in the living room. "To what do I owe the visit today?" he yawned, pouring himself a cup of coffee from a stagnant pot. Coffee this late wasn't usual for him, but hey, caffeine crushed from the Navy work made sense. Came to talk about what work needed to be done for the new ship. I approached the question cautiously, and almost immediately his eyes lit up with interest. "I thought you'd never ask," he replied, almost spitting out his coffee. He left the mug sitting on the counter as he beckoned me upstairs toward a door on the right side of the hallway. Inside was a small study, the desk nearly covered with papers of multiple varieties: land surveys, material lists, component schematics, and personal files from every walk of life. "I apologize for the mess. Usually guests don't see this room," he chuckled, rubbing the back of his head, seemingly embarrassed. "If you think this is messy, then I've got to show you my quarters," I laughed, pulling the land survey from the pile, noting several areas marked out for specific use cases. Farming land, refineries, quarries, storage units. Careful thought had been put into every location, including a set of small landing pads towards the back of the land. I'd have to move my ship eventually. A particular marking caught my attention, simply marked as home. "Oh, yes, I'm going to be moving soon. I'd rather be closer to the work site." He answered my question before it had even left my mouth, likely having seen the spot I was focused on. "You're a workaholic," I replied wryly, rolling my eyes before returning to the survey map. The plan was ambitious, to say the least. Several layers of underground storage, power plant, assembly lines, a forge for metals and alloys. On top of everything, a massive assembly yard. Glancing back down onto the desk, I noticed a suspicious lack of ship blueprints. And even more concerning, at least to me, a severe lack of weapon and ammunition production. "This is one big checklist," I whistled softly, turning back to the captain, who had seemed very proud of himself. "One question, what type of ship would we be building?" The question had been itching at the back of my mind, and it was the most important at the end of the day. A small colony ship is what I was hoping for, enough to carry 10,000 people off Solace. "Lightly armed, of course, but not to the same ability as a true warship," he replied, walking around the desk and pulling open a drawer, tossing a manila folder marked Colony Ship. Flipping through it, I found a massive selection of ship hulls, modules, small armaments, life support systems, and a warp core the likes of which I had never seen before. "You designed this yourself?" I glanced over at him, finding the captain staring at me apprehensively. "Not entirely. Borrowed some of the Solpack's initial design, scaled them appropriately," he admitted, a bashful smile across his face. "Everything looks like it'd work," I mumbled, sifting through sets of papers looking for a material estimate, eventually finding it. Hot damn, this was not a small project. Did Solace even have the material wealth to pull this off? I know, it's a lot of material, but we did the math. After dismantling the Arcturus and harvesting some resources, we should have more than enough. His tone turned solemn at the mention of the Arcturus, and reasonably so. The Arcturus was the last reminder of what our lives once were, what life was like before the Great Anomaly. "What are we looking at for a deadline?" The next question came naturally, back into the flow of things like I'd never left. "Before next June would be preferable. I know it's a lot to get done in a single year," he sighed heavily, dropping himself into the chair near the window. "Entirely possible. Do we have more hands on deck? Has work already begun?" I replied instantly. We couldn't be wasting time. If we had more people, this would be no issue. Before next June, my ass. We could have this done by December if there weren't any hiccups. Best not to speak that outcome into existence. "Yes, and yes," he nodded, pushing a stack of personnel files in front of me. "About 6 other people. With proper training, that would be more than enough. Send me the coordinates. I need something to do anyway." I glanced up at the captain with a smirk before a question rose to the top of my mind. "And what of weapons? Not ship-based, handheld." I hadn't seen any plans for a weapons manufacturing meant for civilian usage. "Hasn't been considered due to material constraints. Hopefully we won't need them given the ship's weapons," he replied without a second thought, taking the manila folder from me and tucking it back into the desk drawer. Murphy's Law, Captain, I responded sharply. A thought occurred to me, and there was certainly a place where I could find weapons. Don't worry about weapons supply. I can provide that, along with some extra material, I said with a smile, running through what would need to be done before a steady flow would be established. I don't like the sound of that, Keener, he chided, turning back to me with his arms crossed. Yeah, I know, nothing chemical, biological, or otherwise. To think the only person to fully read my service record ended up being you, I groaned sarcastically. Keener, I'm serious. I know where you come from, there are no rules, but I've seen the worst of the worst. We don't dip that low. He glared at me, and I could see he was dead serious. Yes, sir, I replied, hiding the reluctance in my voice. I'll walk you out then, he continued, promptly moving past me and out onto the landing. Don't worry about the files. I'll scan through them and have them for you before end of day. The usual smile he wore came back, if not a little forced. We made our way down the stairs and out the front door, where he closed the door with a polite goodbye. As I stepped out into the warm summer air, the audible click of the lock added another layer to the pile of growing theories. Out of all the time I've spent around the captain, he never seemed that serious. The truly odd part was that the captain's record didn't have any indication of being in contact with non-conventional weaponry. It did, however, have multiple odd data points that didn't add up. That was a question for another day, if one that he would even answer. Tapping my GPS and punching in the coordinates he had sent me, I headed out towards the work site. There was so much to do and so little time. I love Keener lore. And now we have more Freya lore. During movie night tonight, I asked Eleanor again about Marcello. She seemed to be a little annoyed, which, to be fair, this was probably the 5th time I'd asked her. Fuck if I know. I just started talking to the man again after 6 years. She told me I should just be straightforward and tell him, so I guess that's what I'll have to do. I couldn't really focus on the rest of the movie. I kept thinking about how I should phrase the question and what the possible outcomes might be. I was finally going to tell Marcello how I felt. I had spent the whole night and early morning planning out how I was going to tell him. Flowers, fireworks, an elaborate confession just like the movies, but nothing I planned seemed to make sense. It was all too spectacular. Eleanor was right. I just needed to be honest and straightforward with him. The worst he could say was no, and we could go right back to working together as usual. Marcello, I shouted. I could see his legs sticking out from under the shuttle he was working on as I approached. He was always doing something. I don't think I'd ever seen him take a break. He muttered something among the buzzing and tinkering noises coming from below. Is this a good time? I asked. I need to talk to you about something. Yeah, that's fine, he responded, his focus still mostly on what he was doing. What's up? I was hoping to have his full attention for this, but I don't think that's going to happen. I want to go on a date with you, I said bluntly. I heard a metallic thump. Ow, fuck, Marcello muttered before rolling out from under the shuttle. He rubbed his forehead and propped himself up on an elbow. His face was scrunched into a confused wince. Freya, I'm not sure you know what that means, he doubted. I wondered if he thought this was another prank. I do know. I've been watching movies with Eleanor to find out more about human culture. I sat down on a metal box nearby to be at his level. I told her a few weeks ago that I've been interested in you for a while, and she told me to just be direct, so here I am. Marcello sat up and threw his pliers into a toolbox. He thought for a moment, perhaps realizing that I was actually serious. I didn't even know Lumarin were capable of, romance, he admitted. I couldn't blame him, not like the topic ever came up. We are. It's just in a different way from humans, I explained. I don't really know how to describe it in a way that would make sense to you. Marcello hummed thoughtfully and twiddled his fingers. Well, I'll confess I haven't thought about this before, he smiled. But I'd be up for a date sometime. I tried to contain my excitement, but I felt like I was going to explode. I think Marcello could tell. Do you have anything in mind? I froze. I hadn't planned for this part. What would he want to do? What did they do in the movies? What about a picnic? I suggested. I could bake something or grab some sandwiches and drinks from the marketplace. That sounds great, he nodded. I'm free this Friday. I'll see you then, I guess, I grinned. This Friday. It's actually happening. It was probably a good thing I didn't have a heart because I would have to visit the hospital at this point. Eleanor was right. Being direct worked. Hehehe, the plot thickens! This has been in the works. This relationship has been in the works for, since the beginning of, well, okay. Technically since last season, but like, I always was like, I want to have, me and Virgil's characters always have to be together in every timeline. I feel like if there were teachers, Freya would be the fun teacher who loved to talk to the students about their lives and share stories from her, and Virgil would be the teacher who never speaks about their life or anything beyond the lesson or school, and they're together. Yeah! Marcella would be the science teacher who just teaches the class and has, like, mysterious lore that sometimes, like, comes out, and the kids are like, what? And Freya's, like, art teacher or something, being like, hee hee. Whatever. The Gray! You guys can't see it, but it has, like, a billion exclamation marks. Points, whatever. The Gray. Though this condition isn't known in the Lands of Solace, it was widely feared in Skyreed. It started off as a small memory mutation and then turned into a fully fledged illness. The Gray is similar to dementia and Alzheimer's as they greatly affect one's brain development and functions. Your science teacher owned a bar? That's crazy. The Gray affects the following areas of the brain: frontal lobe, temporal lobe, hippocampus. Symptoms may include, but are not limited to, issues with speech, forgetfulness, short-term memory loss, long-term memory loss, decision-making issues, changes in personality, sensory issues regarding sense of smell, lack of spatial awareness, learning issues, frequent headaches, migraines, weakness, mobility issues, discoloration to hair, eyes, and skin. This condition progresses over a series of years, although the experience is different for all victims. The most common time frame, starting with its formation, not diagnosis, is around 8 to 12 years. The Gray is most commonly spotted during childhood. Its diagnoses are commonly 10-year-olds. This illness is strictly hereditary. It can't spread by normal means. Your English teacher was a ref for football games. Huh. I was a high school music teacher. And depressed. Dad has an at-home bar called the Bun Bar. My rabbit's house is in there too. That's cute. Stages, progression. Stage 1, initial diagnosis, static. Most victims start off with this stage, though depending on the severity, some may skip it and go straight to stage 2. This is when the condition is first discovered and is lying dormant inside the victim. Not much happens in this stage, for the condition is not active yet, although some may start feeling the effects of stage 2. Stage 2, wilting. This is when the condition wakes up and starts its long journey. The symptoms of this stage are forgetfulness, small speech issues, minor mobility issues, decision-making issues. Stage 3, waning. If the condition wasn't noticeable before, it is now. This takes a bit of a jump from the wilting stage, changing the severity and variety of the symptoms. The symptoms of this stage are short-term memory loss, messed up sense of smell, small personality changes, fatigue, mobility issues, potentially some long-term memory loss, decision-making issues. Stage 4, withering. The array of issues only develops further once it gets to this stage. Most people who get to this stage need assistance in their everyday lives because of the Gray. The symptoms of this stage are both forms of memory loss, weakness, worsened mobility issues, messed up sense of smell, airheadedness, personality changes, frequent headaches and migraines, speech issues and speech loss, weakness, pain, yellowed eyes, and pale skin. Stage 5, final stage, faded. This stage can come into effect just days before the victim's death or months, depending on the person. The victim will typically be in quite a bit of pain, so many don't last long in this stage. If they do, they commonly and unfortunately take care of themselves. The final symptoms of this stage are severe pain, little to no memory, speech loss, inability to eat and drink, malfunctioning senses, bloodshot eyes, pale, yellowed skin, frail and grayish hair. Finally, the victim dies. This is where the Gray gets its name from. The cause of death from this illness is from the brain's gray matter solidifying over time, causing mass damage and eventually death. Currently, there is no cure for the Gray. People have made remedies in an attempt to slow it down, which have worked, but are in no way cures. Small note, at the time of joining the server, Crow was in stage 2 and was diagnosed around the age of 7 or 8, I think. Oh, that's sad. Havoc's Walk. You forgot to remove that part? Oh, we didn't see it. No one saw anything. It's a shame his notes have been scattered to the wind. People need to be more careful now that now that I have to explore this world once more in secret to pick up knowledge that should stay hidden. Through the centuries I have been alive, I've learned many things. Being stealthy is one of them. Through these spiritual woods I walk, I can almost reach my goal. Then I am somewhere else entirely. I hear the cries of animals in their pens as I pass by the market. I can see figures twist and turn in unnatural ways. With each passing day I see more and more spirits on this planet. The figures show me the way to my prey, an ancient piece of paper in the hands of a tangled body of a man. The branches that the man's body was tangled around were turned in a way that even if someone came by to help this unlucky soul, it would have taken them hours to do so. I know what page it was, however, saying what it was would lead to a gruesome death like the man before me. My cursed hands reached for the paper, simply plucking it from the mangled hands of foolish hands. I needed to burn the body. It needed to be done to appease the spirit that was angered. People will assume it was a freak accident. I know there are many pages out there. I just need to find them before anyone else does. Saw what? Iran. Fear is freedom. Control is release. Contradiction is truth. That is the reality of this world. Listen well, you pigs in human clothing, and submit to that reality. War had passed in the heavens. As the rift opened, trembling heavens with a shriek that echoed in the awareness of all life, it was Quasar that dropped. Blazing, changing sphere of heaven and older will, its huge gaping eye fixed on the tear. And not even Quasar, powerful as it was, could seal the sky by itself. A human was taken. Aaron. Iran. Anyway. Guardian of the southern wasteland. Brash, foolish, willingly. The merging was volatile. Quasar poured a shard of its power into Aaron's shape, reshaping... Oh, sorry, my lights turned off because it is sunset. I have it set to do that so that I can remember to start thinking about bedtime. But it is not bedtime yet. The merging was volatile. Quasar poured a shard of its power into Aaron's shape, reshaping it, warping it so that it could stretch out and touch the rift and not be consumed. Aaron held the tear. Quasar severed the link. The rift closed. The monsters vanished, and Aaron died. Weeks passed. The battlefield was a wound. Quasar returned into the void, its mission accomplished. It roamed between stars, eyes steady and unflinching, untroubled by man's grief. Quasar felt nothing for grief. But it had left something behind. Deep beneath the earth where Aaron had perished, something pulsed. A body, twisted, muscles long relaxed, now twisted with new purpose. The chest, once collapsed by the unexpected release of Quasar's energy, had been transformed. From it had grown a bulging mass of red flesh, foreign and alive, and beating like a heart. In the center, one unblinking eye. It opened. Aaron gasped, but the breath wasn't his. He rose up from the floor, his limbs stretched out, his head filled with whispers. Oh, taut. His head filled with whispers, not Quasar's voice, but something resembling it. The residue of the presence of the entity inside of him, not as a soul, but as power, frenzied, unformed, and raging. His body was broken, but the ruby eye upon his breast pulsed with strength. It fed him, re-hardwired him. The blood within his veins shone red under the skin. The whispers grew louder. He had not died, he had awakened, and in the silence of his rebirth, Aaron remembered everything. Being used, being discarded, being forgotten. The world shut the sky and celebrated peace. Nobody inquired what price he paid, nobody wondered what happened to the corpse. Now he would remind them. Villages at the edges disappeared. No screams, no fire, just an empty space, and red, peculiar marks seared into the rock. Eyes, always eyes. Some of the survivors spoke of a man with ash-colored skin and an eye that glowed red from the middle of his chest, the voice of a dying star. A shadow that made light struggle in memory disappear, but not Quasar. Quasar stood in the emptiness, unaltered. It had served its time. This, however, was something else, something born of man and mistake. Aaron, whatever, strolled through the ruins of the ancient cities, building something. A bone and smoldering steel throne, not for himself, but for the eye in his chest. It now spoke in language. It craved more than revenge. It craved ascension. I was your savior once, Aaron told himself, his voice dripping with unnatural beauty. Now I will be your god. He didn't want Quasar to come back. He hated it. But he would use what had been abandoned to reopen the rift once more. Not to shadows, not to beasts. This time he would break the sky from underneath. This time the world itself would cower. Fear is freedom. Control is release. Contradiction is truth. You're making the gestures and dress to impress? That's actually crazy. I like that. That is the reality of this world. Listen well, you pigs in human clothing, and submit to that reality. Alright, I think we're finally... Oh no, we have so much to go. I'm so tired, I'm sorry. Trust. Oh. We have T-R-U-S-T. Trust. No. N-O-B-I-T-C-H. Trust no bitch? Trust is weird. Sometimes we trust people we don't know. We know we shouldn't, and we still never see the betrayal coming. Sometimes we trust people we don't know anything about, like their name. Unfortunately, that may have happened to me. I don't know anything about loss yet. I don't mind it. I look forward to the little notes that we leave each other, even though most are threats to me. Loss has interesting handwriting, even though I don't understand English, the language that Loss wrote in one of their books. It's nice to see someone who also likes to write. I know snooping is bad, but sometimes I can't help myself. So what? Sue me. Please don't. And I check the cool stuff they have. Loss draws nicely. I even found a drawing of myself. Cute. Sometimes when I enter, music plays, which scares me all the time. One of these days, Loss is going to catch me, which I hope isn't soon, because I have a lot more stuff to snoop through, hehe. I'm currently sitting on the floor of their house writing this. I don't know how to describe it, but I feel safe. I feel like even after all the threats and all the warnings, Loss also looks up to see stuff from me. I hope one day I can find out more about Loss and maybe even become friends? Yes, friends are something I want Loss and me to become. I think they're coming back. Better leave before I get caught. Trust no bitch. Oh, good night. See you next time. I relate. I too want to sleep. Found a mole's tunnel entrance. Oh, is this is the portal. Is this Lynx's portal or is this a different portal? Because it looks like Lynx's portal. If anyone is reading this, please help me. If you are reading this, then I beg of you, please save me, please. My home, the planet of Celestion, has been riddled with barbarism ever since the reversal happened. The disappearance of nearly an entire planet vanished one night. I've heard rumors of a place that is filled with peace and hospitality, and I hope this letter will find anyone or anything that will save me. I am known as Say Celesta Kandorian, second son of the Kandorian clan. I'm the 46th Celestia prophet serving the Frozen Lady. Please rescue me and I will grant you visions of future life. Please, I beg of you. I was near the planet of Solace, the rumored planet of peace and tranquility, when I was captured by the once brethren of Celestion. I don't know where I am, but I remember seeing a bright green star before I awoke in a caged cell. If anyone finds this, please help me. I beg of you, I cannot die. Not when I have to tell somebody on Solace about a man who will bring destruction. If you see this, I cannot be rescued. Please. Tell anyone who will listen. His name is... They're coming! I can hear the locks opening! Help me, please! Uh-oh. 07. It is too late. The image is the portal from Lynx. Ooh. I don't think you've missed your lore. Well, I think we're about to read it. It grows! Oh, it's so over. Ha ha. It's so over. I changed my mind. You don't get to read the poem today. Okay. If Frey can convince me, I'll send it. Okay. Onyx wrote. He wrote for days. He wrote letters. One to some Alfie person and one to Eurillo. He was curious. He wanted to know more about them because Angel told him about them in a way. Dear Eurillo, Dear Princess Celestia. Dear Eurillo, I am writing to you today as I am curious as to who you are. Does the name Angel sound familiar to you? Can I know more about him and you? I'm curious. Who were you to him? When I came to this planet, I saw a ghost, someone who claimed their name was Angel. I also gained some weird memories of you and someone else. I believe their name was Alfie. I know it must be weird getting a letter from someone you don't even know, but I'm filled with curiosity about you both. If you can, I'd like to see a letter back from you. I hope to know more. Thanks. Onyx Adeline. Dear Alfie, I have no idea who you are, but I have some memories of you, and a ghost named Angel told me about you. I'd like to know more about you, Angel. I apologize for the letter is not very long, as I don't know what to say to you. Please get back to me. I'm truly curious. Thanks. I see you typing, Angel. I see you typing, Angel. Okay, here. Oh! If you're not ready, it's okay. Oh my god. Okay. We can get through it. I want to read it so bad that I'm gonna do it. Hello, Amber. Welcome. Angel rises alone. He died in silence, cold and still, the breath beneath his chest grown chill. IDUT, the silent blight, had dragged him deep into the night. His eyes had dimmed, his voice had ceased, his soul released, his pain released. And in that void where none survive, Angel fell, yet stayed alive. No stars to guide him, none to save, just shadows whispering from the grave. His name forgotten on every chart, no light remained within his heart. The illness stole what life could be, left scars inside what none could see, and all he loved was torn away. Even Susu, she could not stay. He reached for her, in endless dark, but found no hand, no voice, no spark, her laughter lost, her warmth withdrawn, a ghost that never lingered long. The place he woke was not their land, no flowers bloomed, no holding hand, just endless cold and silent air and grief so thick it shaped the air. Susu, he called, where have you gone? But even echoes carried on. She did not rise, she did not wake, her soul the stars refused to take, and he alone was pulled back through to pain and breath and skies once blue. Returned to life, but not to joy, a risen man, a hollowed boy. The lab was still, the lights were red, 1,000 voices gone or dead. His fingers twitched, the wires snapped, a body broken, soul still trapped. The world moved on, but none were near to greet his rise or see his fear. No arms to hold, no tears to dry, just Angel breathing, asking, why? His heart beat slow, but not with grace, for she was gone and left no trace. He staggered out with shattered bones into a world that felt like stone. Solace shone with quiet skies, but peace meant nothing when she dies. The birds still sang, the wind still blew, but everything had lost its hue. He wandered through the hills, they knew, where once she danced in morning dew. He touched the trees, he watched the sea, and begged the stars to set her free. But no reply, no sudden spark, just silence draped in morning dark. The world he lived in was a tomb, and life returned without a room. He built a cairn with trembling hands among the stones and silver sands, a name carved deep, Susu, gone, a love so bright now carried on. And every day he knelt to pray, though no one came and none would stay. He cursed the gods, he cursed the cure, for giving life he can't endure. Yet he still breathed, yet he still woke, a flicker, not yet fully broke. For though his world was draped in gray, and she was light now torn away, he knew her voice would want him strong to walk the days, to last this long. Not for revenge or death or fame, but so her story stayed a name. He wrote her songs, he lit her flame, he whispered secrets to her name. You stay with me, he sometimes said, though I live on, you are dead. And in his chest a rhythm grew of pain and peace, both faint and true. He wore his scars like sacred thread, a life rebuilt from all he bled. So when the sky begins to fade and starlight cuts through solace's shade, there walks a man with eyes like ash, a ghost returned from death's own crash. But his name is Angel, death defied, but half of him still never died. He walks alone, he speaks her name, a candle caught in endless flame. The world may turn and time may steal, but some returns can never heal. He rose again, but not to thrive, he rose because he must survive. And in the wind you'll hear him cry, through endless dusk and morning sky, you brought me back, but not my light. You gave me breath, but not what's right. So they're a fallen angel now? Ha 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 ha, that's so funny. Ha 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 ha. Oh? We're sorry, ma'am, but the results show true. It's not looking bright for him. But how is that possible? We have no history of it. James never told us. It's most likely skipped a generation, or is still dormant in someone. Please, don't blame yourself for this. We're uncertain when it may awaken, but he most likely still has lots of time left. Lots of time? They're just a child. They shouldn't have to worry about how much time they have. Listen, we understand your anger. Understand? You can't comprehend a mother's grief for her child. Just leave us. Thank you, Doctor. Right. We wish you and your young one luck, Miss Goldwing. Oop. Muffled sobbing. Oh, I always love your poetry, Angel. I'm just trying to get through all this because, like, I'm sick today. So I'm feeling kind of out of it. But I love your poetry as always. Who are you? Did you leave the heart? Gosh, it's Spawn. Referencing this thing. Oh, is this the person who left the heart? Oh. Wait, is this Starry? Wait, no, this Starry who's writing this. Was this Nyx? I think it is. It is Nyx. Yeah. Fun collection cards of my gestures. Eliath. Oh, this is cool. I actually just did a commission. I like how it's just a Minecraft skin over this. It's kind of funny. I actually just, whatever. I am getting a commission from Gojo to make, my What If character, Yelena, and Virgil's character, Marcelo, as two sides of, playing cards. He's King of Clubs and she's Queen of Hearts. We have Eliath. That is scary. Let's go, gay jesters! Alright, let's check out the server builds just briefly from the 22nd. And then... Am I gonna sneeze or not? Oh. Alright, we already saw this. We already saw this. Alright, submarine and docking bay mostly complete. That's super cool. Wow, this especially, like, I love that. That's so cool. Virgil's farmhouse. I've seen the inside too. I helped him, like, at least helped with, like, putting the stuff in for the schematic. It's very cute. It's a very cute house. Lore accurate. Ooh. Ooh. I love hay roofs. Maybe that's just me, but I love using hay as a building block. Very cool. Almost done with the main pod cluster. This is so cool. This could be another game. This does not look like Minecraft. I love flying over this thing and realizing, like, oh, look, it's that thing! It's that thing I keep seeing! The stairs have not been stolen, that's good. Which looks better for each? Glowstone or Shroomlight? I think Shroomlight, personally. More layout? This is just getting cooler and cooler. Look how huge that is. That's awesome. Terraforming the cave at the very border of the world. We do have, I think, 5,000 more blocks to expand the world out, so you will have that. Something ominous that Bagel is making. A greenhouse. We have the Waffle House. Work in progress. It looks like you're inside of an Oreo. This is cool. I love how creative people are. It's great. And with that, I think we're done. Post the Kindlegrim skull? That's up to you. Do it now or never. Ah. It's time for me to drink more miso soup, I think. My throat hurts. Thank you all for being here. And, we do have a thing, so there is a lore thing happening on Friday. If you would like to be available to participate in it, check the events channel. You see this question mark thing up here? Hold on. This question mark thing here is, what you'll want to make sure that you're able to attend. Normally I would just, like, you know, be like, okay, well, this is, it's a surprise, and then I just, like, have it happen, but I want people to be able to participate if they'd like to. This is going to be a faction leader meeting thing. Everyone is invited, but it's, like, not during the regular meeting time. I also tried to move it up so more people could join. It's sending? Okay. I'm still in the same channel, don't worry. But yeah, if you'd like to participate, this is going to be an in-character thing. This is kind of kicking off some of the, like, we had a kickoff to the lore, but this is, like, really getting the ball rolling. This has to do, Grim, I think, actually, I don't know if you're able to see you're not able to see the document with all the stuff because there's secret stuff. But yes, this is part of what I've been talking about, that I've been planning. I've been pulling in people from different factions, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, you're able to join. This does have to do with all members of Solace, not just, like, the faction leaders, not just people who would normally attend faction meetings. This concerns everyone. So yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Nice. I love that. That's super cool. Alright. Well, I'll see you all next Tuesday. Well, I'll see some of you earlier than that. By the way, if any of you have more ideas for, like, in-character, like, role-playing things we can do to, like, get people more involved with the lore, I'm trying my best this season to really get people involved. So yeah, just let me know. Hopefully I'm feeling better by this Friday. Don't get sick. Toodaloo.